And we're live with episode 100. Welcome, everybody, to episode 100 of the Core Podcast. It's been a wild ride. How is everybody doing? Johnny, how you doing?
Good, we've made it.
Excellent. We got a good old Michael Lord and Todd joining us straight off the bat. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Good.
Excellent.
How's your knee doing, Mr. Michael Lord? For those that don't know, Mike had a wonderful knee replacement.
It's still there. Yeah, mate, I'm going well.
Still there?
No, real. Yeah, it's still there. It survived. Same one, yeah. Same body. Only all the internals have been replaced.
Did you pay that little extra for the Bionic Man sounds when you?
Oh
walk?
yeah. I'm going to get the tattoo on the side now, which looks like you got the 3D internal image. I hate to really waste a good titanium implant and not everyone see it.
Excellent. But that's great. It's good that you're doing well. You're it's 10 o'clock in the morning there for you?
Yeah, it's 10 in the morning. I'm having a quiet morning. I'm using the new as an excuse not to do housework. It's great. It's a win-win situation. I get to hang out with you guys.
Should have done it sooner, Michael.
Yeah, like the things we do to escape housework.
Yeah, exactly.
The timing of it is impeccable.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you worked it backwards from world, right?
Well, yes. To be 100% honest, yes, I did. I started the process literally 12 months ago. It was getting to a stage where I talked to the surgeon about it, and he said, look, wait till you can't do anything, it's keeping you awake at night, wait till it's really bad, you're still right. I'm thinking, yeah, it's not easy for you to say. So 2 or 3 months ago, it just seized up. I couldn't straighten it, and I went back and saw him. And he said, it's getting close, and I've got to check, my schedule for Christmas and everything. I said, well, here's the option. This is the window of period you've got to operate in the next 2 weeks, or it's sometime in February or March, because, working backwards, I'm traveling to the US the first week in February. I've got commitments. I said, I figure it's, 6 to 7 weeks where I get full regrowth and everything of the knee anyway. I can walk properly. And I said, and he goes, oh, well. So he slipped me in on the 12th of December, and everything's all good. So, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks, and then obviously heading to World and catching up with everyone.
I feel like you using World as a great tester for your new knee.
Yeah. Well, we all know there's a certain amount of World's an endurance event. It's that you cover some miles and some Ks every day. It's not like it's an easy thing. So there's some incentive there to make sure that I'm fit enough for that. And as I say, it works in that I figured. Look, I was really confident in the whole process. First of all, when I first did the research into it, it's a SOLIDWORKS company. Striker's a SOLIDWORKS company, and then it says it's 3D titanium print, and then it was like, well, it's a scan, and they take the CT scan and turn it into 3D data, and then they program it for this robotic controlled arm to machine it properly. And I thought, well, that's just like, you've got to believe in the process, don't you? So, we do it every day. We do it every day of the week. We're all in this type business of building and machining things and having success. So I figured I couldn't be in any better hands. So and it's got to prove that. I'm just over a week out, and I'm walking without any assistance, a little slowly, but I haven't been off all the pain meds for the last 3 days. And,
So
as I say, I've just got to build it up. And I say the incentive now is I'll give it till Christmas. That's the rest period. So up from Christmas on, it's back into training, making sure I get some miles under my legs. So I'm 100% right for World. So it's to say I gave him that option.
looking forward to seeing you though.
Yeah.
Just want to explain the concept of hallway hangouts if anyone's out there watching and don't know what it is. Hallway hangouts was kind of built through COVID. We all hang out together in a hallway in a convention, and COVID hit. That was good fun. And we all had to sit behind a Zoom screen and pretend like we're at the conference. So Jonny and I built the hallway hangouts where we pretend like we're in the hallways and we're hanging out. But it shows us our very perfectly well so that all of us can enjoy a little tipple. I've got a fine collection of various whiskies over there that I'll be enjoying in a minute. And I've got a little spinning wheel that's going to decide what I'm drinking tonight. That's going to be fun.
Spinning wheel.
I did.
Told you we'd planned it this year.
Yeah. So
it's a choice. It's a lucky dip.
I see, Mike, you're enjoying something in some form of a receptacle. Might be tea, might be whiskey. But I'm going to play a little jingle for everybody watching of what are we drinking. Shing. What are they drinking? And we back. So, Mike, since you're the first one there that's tippling away at something, what are you drinking?
Well, I am actually behaving myself. I am actually drinking a cup of tea at the moment, but that may change as the morning goes on.
I was about to say, it's already 10 o'clock,
Well, it is. The sun is up over the yard arm, and it would be the first time that I've started this early in the morning. So,
see, Johnny's,
or should I say, or haven't stopped from the night before.
I mean, Johnny's already drinking there in the Central Australia.
Yeah, he's got himself in the outback.
Yeah, come down and visit you, mate. Got lost.
He's like the rest of the crazy. He's like the rest of the crazy English in Australia at the moment. Without getting sidetracked, I know Johnny's not interested in the cricket, but there's 40 or 50,000 Englishmen over here, and they're in Adelaide the last 2 days, and it's been like 39, 40 degrees, 105, 108 degrees or something. There's probably 20,000 Englishmen dressed between wearing Centurion outfits or wearing their full bacon and egg English ties. And they've been drinking like from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6 at night. They haven't stopped singing. And it's 40 degrees. And they are just great patriots. You should be proud of them to have that sustainability. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing, isn't it, what a couple of pints at 10 a.m. will do. Powers you through. What you mean, Mike, is they've lost all feeling.
Oh, mate, I haven't had much to start with, I don't think.
But Jonny, I'll tell you what the difference is. There in Australia, when you sit under a tree or in the shade, you're cooler. You don't continue baking in the shade. But I mean, Todd, what have you got to wet your whistle here tonight? On a Friday night as well. It's Friday.
I have a lovely Dogfish Head 120-minute ale.
Interesting. I like that label. That's a really cool label.
It's a very good one. Cool opener.
I love those openers.
Done that before.
I've tried a 3D print one before. It didn't work too well.
But no, this one's a rare one just because of the brewing process. So they are able to charge a whole lot for it.
What makes the brewing process rare?
Well, I think it's the cutoff when they, and like Riffle can probably chime in the chat, but it's basically how long you're doing the brewing part. And if you go just a little bit too long, it completely throws it, and they just have to dump the whole batch.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's like the window for perfection is really small, but you end up with a very high octane beer.
That's quite, yeah, that's very, very cloudy.
There's some bloody bits down the bottom there.
It's about 15.5%.
That's stronger than a glass of wine. Good luck with that. Johnny, you got someone cuddling you from behind.
Yeah, he just snuck in. Don't know where he's come from. Looks like a shady character to me.
Well, what are you drinking, Mr. Johnny?
I've gone for a classic Kirby.
Guinness.
Oh, it's all gone. Hang on. Let me unblur everything.
You've gone all blurry, Johnny.
It's like my vision, Mike.
Yeah,
that might be my chaser.
I've got a regular Guinness, and then I've got a foreign extra just as a little chaser in case.
That was going to be my chaser.
So,
I like a Guinness.
They've just opened a new Guinness brewery in London.
That King opened it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this week. But they're not brewing Guinness there. They're still importing the Guinness. But they've got a bunch of other stuff that they'll be producing there, which is quite interesting. I think I'm going to wait about 6 months before I go because that place is going to be busy. So I'm quite looking forward to that. But I spoiled myself this year with the Jack Daniel's Advent calendar. So I've been collecting. Got a lovely collection of little bits. There's a bottle of Whistle Pig, some Eagle Rare, Jack Daniel's Blue, Blackberry, a variety of things.
I was wondering which one that was.
It's actually quite interesting. It's like it tastes like cough medicine. It's kind of weird. Once you mix it with a bit of like lemonade or Sprite, cuts it really nicely, and you get a nice kind of flavored lemonade, which is quite nice. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see yourself for a second.
Oh no.
No, you're not. There we go. I couldn't decide what I'm going to drink, so I decided I'm going to have a wheel that's going to decide what I'm drinking tonight.
It's really good, that.
So we're going to play a game of what's Kirby drinking?
I love that you don't know the answer either. Oh, it's classic.
Classic Jack Daniels.
Oh, wait.
Well done.
Where's my shot face?
I feel like you've rigged that in the back end somehow. You've changed the algorithm.
Yeah. It's quite nice. They put in little glass doodad bottles, which is quite nice. I was hoping for something a bit more exotic, but, we'll go with something classic, little airport size bottles. But, Mike, I'm sure you're glad that you're not staying in a hotel miles away from the convention.
Oh, well, I think that's the one selling part of Houston, really, especially with the where we're staying just across the road. It certainly it certainly helps. But look, as I say, I'm hoping to be back into fairly good walking form once Christmas gets over and done with, and you can start moving a little bit quicker than I am. I'm a tad slow at the moment, but I think that's what makes Houston. I mean, that's what makes most of the world's been good there. We're normally in a short stroll from the convention centres, and it's just far enough to see what the weather is like outside, and then hop back inside to some normality and escape all that.
I love that. Hop back inside to some normality with us, not sure. Why are you lying to yourself?
Well, it's like Houston again. Nashville's a stroll around the corner. Dallas is the same. It's only the LA era, which was a bit bizarre for everybody.
Yeah, that was
the like.
The really
it was
hike up the
a
hill.
little too far, but not far enough to justify a taxi kind of distance.
Yeah. That was the issue. By the time you wait for the Uber to turn up, you're halfway there. But then when you're halfway there, you're thinking, "Damn, I should have caught the Uber."
Yeah, especially if you had the Omni. That was quite the hill. But Danny Bowler's in the chat. He says he couldn't join on his Zoom. He couldn't connect to Zoom on work. He got himself a new bottle of local bourbon to try. Cheers. But yeah, like I'm quite looking forward to this year again. I enjoy going back to a city because you don't have that first day of figuring out where everything is.
You know where you're going. It's like a home from home almost this year.
It means you can get more out of your Sunday. Like traditionally on the Sunday, you'd have to, work out where all your rooms are, all your sessions are, find the places. Well, I mean, that was the other big plus with Houston. It's probably the simplest convention center to actually get around. They're remarkably organized, and they put numbers up where you can actually read them from at least from at least 100 meters away. Yeah, so again, it makes life really easy, which just obviously means a little bit more time to hang out with people, more socializing, more than organizing.
Are you any of you guys doing presentations?
Not this year.
Mike is.
Yes, I've drawn one of the
Michael's got
slightly one of the slightly less exciting time slots, the 8:30 Wednesday morning after the special event night. So my numbers aren't looking real good at the moment.
But I tell you what, it's better than after general session. Or
Oh yeah, look, I think that's probably the one. I think it's the one decision that they still haven't got correct. I think it's great having the Wednesday afternoon general session. They need to push it back an hour, and it should be, here's the end of the session. Thanks for coming, folks. Here are the beers.
Yeah.
That's how
Sayonara.
because again, I think it's hard on the people presenting. I mean, everybody gets. I think there's still a lot of people committed, but between people either rushing home for those who don't want to stay the extra night, and those who once it's been a long couple of days, I think it's hard to do those last couple of sessions, and I think it's a little unfair on everybody. I think it should be been a great show, folks. Enjoy the bar.
yeah, I mean, my first year presenting, I was after general session.
Mm,
That was brutal. Like, no one wanted to be there.
yeah.
My session this year is Monday at lunchtime. Are you not hearing us, Todd?
I'm hearing you. It's just, it seems like the level dropped quite a bit.
It might be Zoom playing with your audio. Because I've noticed that, like, if one person's talking, another person kind of like ducks everybody automatically for you. It's kind of to avoid background noise. Is it all right for you now?
It's about the same.
Interesting.
Weird.
You guys hearing it all right?
Yeah,
For
no,
me.
I'm fine from my end.
Oh. I was saying that my session is about 1 o'clock or 1:30 on Monday, so it's a nice midway through the first day.
Peak time just after lunch. It's a good
Yeah, I've got to
session.
submit my slides still though.
I'm looking forward
yeah,
to yours, Kirby.
So you're presenting on 3D printing again?
No, I'm doing a fun.
Oh,
It was a late night idea in one of the bars last year,
Dangerous.
World, where I suggested an idea for a presentation to Chin Lu, and she said that's a great idea. 6 months later, she messaged me and says, "Are you still doing this?"
And you forgot.
I was like, "Oh, I forgot about that conversation." So yeah, I called it. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Essentially, I'm doing a presentation on how either yourself or people that you work with can manage people with ADHD within the workplace, how you can take advantage of
that's right.
some of the quirks, how you can speak to someone with ADHD without upsetting them, how to approach them, that kind of thing. So I think it'll be quite interesting, a different kind of presentation. I myself am ADHD. I get really annoyed when someone comes to me in the middle of my work and says, "Hey, can you do this now?" And I've kind of trained a lot of the people at work to be like, message me on Slack and say, "In 5 minutes, can we talk?" And then I'm like, okay, cool. I know I've got 5 minutes to finish what I'm doing, and then I can go and tend to that task. So it's kind of understanding how ADHD people's brains work and how you can take advantage of that and not upset
Well,
them.
that's good.
The
That's
message is
interesting.
kind of like the clutch. They're allowing you to shift gears.
100%. It's like I'll be 3 o'clock. I'm knees deep in builds and all that stuff, and someone will just tap on my shoulders. Oh, can you come look at this? And then I'll go and have a look at it. I'll sit down. I've got to spend 10 to 15 minutes figuring out where I was and getting myself back into that flow. So, yeah, it can get frustrating, but people are starting to learn how to interact with myself. So I thought I'd bring that to Will and be like, hey, this might help you. So,
That's a great session. I actually do find myself in a second presentation myself, very slightly off my subject as well. I'm sitting on a panel with they're talking about women in STEM as well. So
Saw that.
oh, are you wearing a dress?
Maybe not averse to the idea.
There's quite a few people in that one, isn't there?
Oh, yeah,
Like
there's
presenter-wise.
more presenters than people. I was trying, to be honest, I was trying not to get involved. It started off as a conversation on the WhatsApp user group leaders channel, and I had a few insights because, as you know, that I have grown up triplets, and that was part of my insight into this. Why perhaps women don't go into to STEM, and maybe there's this nurture versus nature argument, and I kind of threw that out because there was some discussions going on, and then there was people jumping in who were volunteering to sit on the panel, like people like Cara who should be there, and Danny who have good thoughts on the subject, and rightly so. And I was and Amy Hamilton's running it, and I don't know Amy all that well, despite being a user group leader for years. And I was kind of sitting back, and I was like, "Step away, Michael. Step away. Let people do it." And then Amy messaged me privately saying, "Can you sit on this panel?" And I said, "Really? Do you want my old man's in thoughts into this? I'm not perhaps the person to be, maybe making suggestions in there. I'm of different era." She said, "No, I think, some of the insights you showed, are good." So I do find myself on this additional panel, which I hadn't quite planned on being. So, I think it's interesting. We all know the subject. We all have, very good friends in engineers who are women, and to me, it's not really even a discussion on what gender they are. They're just intelligent people, and part of this community. But I understand the whole
I mean,
prefaces behind it and
are
why it
any of
happens,
your
etc.
daughters in engineering and that?
No, and this is part of my discussion. But my three kids, because they're triplets, they weren't optional how we raised our kids. They were all raised the same. There was one box of toys, whether they be dolls or Lego, and they were all encouraged. And when I was working on something, they were all encouraged to help. I sat down. I used to draw with them all. If I
Yeah,
was up on the roof, I used to drag them up on the roof of the house, despite what their mother would say. They all got raised the same. They all got thrown literally. When I said I used to throw them into bed, I used to throw them in the bed. There was no difference between whether they were girls and boys. And my son's went on to do industrial design. He's very much like me. I've got a daughter who does childcare, and I've got another daughter who's an occupational therapist. And they don't want to have any discussion. I'm dad's talking again, listen to him go on. It's the Greek process. So they actually have zero process. So my argument is like, genetically, these three kids are pretty similar. But why? Why has one chosen to obviously, I guess, take after me a little bit more in regards to, who I am, but also the way his interests and all those things. So why
yeah.
hasn't the other two who were raised the same genetically not too dissimilar, except that their gender is female. So why do they have absolutely zero interest? That was kind of my process, and I don't think it's the whole process. If you look at all the research, it all tells you that those who have male or female influences in their life are more likely to go into engineering and things like that. And I see a lot of the females have seen that, either their father's an engineer, or I think there's a couple who the three sisters, they're all engineers. But there has to be something about not gender, but I'd like the argument really to be based around individuals. What is the trait of this individual which makes them want to be this certain way? But I think somewhere along the line, gender comes into it in regards to I guess more caring and nurturing people, and you see some of the fields that they go into still science-based. So in Australia, I think worldwide, like veterinary science is probably dominated by females more than males now, and things like biology and forensic, these are all science-based and even partly engineering-based subjects, but they don't go into being traditional manufacturing type engineers. So is it what is it? Is it the engineering? Is it the getting your hands dirty, or is it just the way it's sold, or is it is it all those things? So I think it's an interesting subject.
Yeah. It's a very unique perspective, as you said, that three kids were forced to have the same upbringing. Me and my brother were 9 years different. So in terms of that, my parents were at different points in their careers and financial situations that somewhat I ended up getting a bit more, but that was purely because it was more available, but we had the same opportunities. So I see what you mean. That's very interesting.
Well, I'm similar. Like, my brother's 5-6 years older than I am, and he's an accountant. I mean, we couldn't be more different as siblings. I mean, not nothing wrong with accountants, mathematically and all those things, but you couldn't be two more different people.
I mean,
my father,
both my parents were accountants as well, and then me and my brother are just creative dudes.
Yeah, that's interesting with my father. See, my father was my grandfather was a shipwright. My father was raised not to touch a hammer. His father was, he grew up, he worked in the era in, the 20s and the 30s. And it was like, his argument was, be strong in the mind and weak in the back, not, weak in the mind and strong in the back. So my father, who was the son of a shipwright, couldn't drive a nail in to save his life for his entire adult career. Yet here I am, almost kind of going back that one generation and taking after him. So again, it's a really interesting, is it just genetics? Do you not have an option in life? You are who you are from the day you're born. And I think to me that's really much more it is. It's the individual, and it's who you are, and you might have influences in your life.
Yeah,
you're not going to fight. You can't fight it.
We've all got that one special interest that just drives us throughout our entire careers and that stuff. I mean, I'm a big nerd in aviation. I love it. I've got a whole flight simulator set up. You wouldn't think that. I always wanted to be a pilot, but I told my English mark wasn't good enough for it, so I went somewhere else. But I'm now I'm in an industry where we're making aerospace parts, and I'm like, this is so cool. I'm about 95% sure I can land a plane if I get into one of those situations. Okay.
Well, it's always good. You're safe, Johnny, if you're on a plane, and
let's not try that on the way we'll take.
And they go, is there a pilot on the plane?
Yes.
Stim pilot.
Hang on. The problem with Kirby on a plane is he's normally hammered.
That would only help him land, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I've got thousands of hours on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020.
To be fair, you could also say you were pissed when you were on that. So
yeah, I usually do drink while doing that.
That's a good one.
But yeah, speaking of like kids and that, Johnny, you've got a kid.
Correct.
That's new.
Well, she's coming up 4 weeks this week.
Really low miles.
I was about to say that's still like showroom quality.
Mm.
Got that new.
Still has
got
the
that
new baby
person
smell.
Still got the new baby smell. It's it's like a new car when you absolutely hammer it down the freeway and then it's just exhausted and it needs all sorts of work within the first month. But yeah, it's going well.
I feel like if you buy a car and it needs a lot of work in the first month, you should take it back to the dealership.
True. I'm not sure they do returns, Kirby. We maybe have to have a conversation on how it works.
I'm sure you could go back and just ask for a warranty.
No, I'm not suicidal.
How is
this
life
was ready yet?
Can I have it when it's about 21 and ready to move out?
No, mate, you don't want them when they're 21. Believe me, you got them at the easy age. Like people used to come in and they say, "Oh, like I didn't sleep last night and I didn't do this." And I used to give them my favorite pep talk. You reckon 2-year-olds are bad? You wait till they turn 15 or 16. That's the real hard years. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yep.
Well, and then the really fun one is, it's like when I was 15, I couldn't believe how stupid they were. But when I was 22, I couldn't believe how much they learned in 7 years.
Learn by doing.
Yeah, they're not mistakes; they're learning opportunities.
Correct. That's how I've got to where I am.
Fake it till you make it. That's how I'm getting where I am. But yeah, that's exciting. How's you looking forward to your little stint away for World?
Yes and no. I think
Full night's sleep.
Yeah, the sleep will be nice, full night's sleep, but be difficult being away after like a couple of months. But we'll see. Be fine.
It's cute that he thinks he's going to get sleep at World.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that we're going to be up to the bar like till whatever hours.
Well, no one commented about my new background.
Yeah,
I recognize it.
Yeah, I thought you.
Well, I recognise the bar, but I'm not used to seeing it that empty. I don't think it was ever that empty when I was there.
Must be 5
when we were
past.
kicked out.
I was going to say, yeah, must be just after midnight.
Yeah, God, yeah, that's right. They have no staying power.
Aggressively throw you out.
Oh, yeah. You know, it wasn't actually a friendly bar. I had a few incidents there. We had a discussion.
Yeah, I left it in my feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, they were quite unfriendly considering the amount of investment we made into the bar.
High-level shareholders by the end of the week.
Absolutely. You know, there was some financial gain. I couldn't understand that they couldn't work out there that we were there for 4 or 5 days, and you know,
yeah, you got a bar with like 100 people, and you're just like, okay, get out.
It was bad. They would put the blinds down and turn the lights on.
Oh, the worst one was when I was having. It must have been after the special event, and Betty and that were up that far end, and they had a table having some food. And I'd gone down, and I was chatting. I had my car at the bar or something, and the manager was coming over and kind of saying, "Well, you know, what are you guys doing up here?" I said, "Well, they're kind of eating, and I'm going down there and I'm buying some drinks." She says, "But you know, you're taking up space here." I said, "Well, hang on. If we either take up space up here or we're drinking down here." I said, "Where's the problem? You tell me what you want. Are we allowed to stay here and drink, or do you want us to move?" And she was kind of like, "Well, I don't know." I said, "Well, hang on, you tell me. Like, I'm not causing troubles. Like, you know, like, I'll go anywhere." I said, "Go and check at the bar and have a look at my card, look at my name, and you tell me whether you want me to move or not." It's like, anyway.
One of my good friends always used to say, "Look, I'm just trying to give you money. What's the problem?"
Yeah, it wasn't like you were taking up space, sat there with, you know, a Coke for the whole night.
I mean, I got kicked out of a brew dog recently.
That I can't believe.
Yeah, but it was the same kind of reason. Like, we rocked up there at 11 o'clock. I was like, hey, is your kitchen closed? And they're like, no. I was like, cool. Went across the road, got some chicken strips and sat down. I was eating my chicken strips. They're like, sir, you can't eat that here. I was like, well, your kitchen's closed and I'm hungry. And I was like, well, you can't eat that there. I was like, I'm just drinking and enjoying my wings. They got really irate with me. I was like, okay, cool, I'll put them away. And then they just kept coming around like, are you still eating those wings? I was like, no. Yeah, and then I got kicked out because I got a bit angry at them. It's like, I'm just trying to drink beers here.
I got to say, it's the only time I've ever been in the US, and certainly in a US bar where we've ever had any of those issues. Normally they look at us. Normally they look at us and just like rub their hands together and go, "Beauty, like this is a good night." And
Tuesday night.
Ironically, the Hilton at the other end of the convention center just didn't close its bar.
Oh, didn't it?
No, it stayed open till like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
how it's supposed to be.
That was where I went on the Wednesday night once our bar shut.
Yeah.
Moved along.
Well, it may have to happen this year if they get the same treatment. So,
yeah, I think we're in the same hotel this year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Next year
we get pushed out there.
It's so weird that world is so close. I feel like we're in January and it's still like a while away, but it's a month away. But it's next year.
Days. They've added a countdown this year on the World website.
Either that or it days.
Yeah, 43. I was literally on the things before. Either that or I've never noticed it on the website before. But yeah, 43 days. It's got like a full-on countdown. Mission control launch clock. They've missed a trick there, really, actually.
I mean, I used to do that every year when they'd announce the next location and the date. I'd be sitting there in general session, and it's like, okay, it's going to be in Phoenix on this date. And I'd put it in my phone and start the countdown.
I literally sit there and book my leave for the next year. Those are the dates.
I won't be here.
Some of us have operations to plan around World.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Luke's not going to be there because of the similar circumstances.
Yeah, his operation.
I think his is a little bit more serious than mine. Mine was an elective thing to do.
Yeah.
His is far more of a you need to do type thing.
Yeah, else his knee's literally going to crumble away.
Yeah. Mike's is just to walk sexy.
Yeah. Mine's just an old age and years of abuse. I can't claim any fancy bone-eating diseases. Like God.
Right. I'll finish my little tipple over there, so I'm ready to.
You going to spin again?
I'm going to spin again. I've got to find a button for it. Share.
Yes, I might have to walk to the. I might have to walk to the kitchen and find something.
Oh, there it is. No, we're going to keep it. Shuffle them up again. What is Kirby drinking? I need to make a jingle for that. If it's Jack Daniels again, I'm spinning again. Bit of blackberry.
Don't like the blackberry.
I can play with that.
Sprite.
I don't have Sprite. It's going to have to go with the Coca-Cola.
Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm gonna move on to my foreign extra stout.
I might as well grab mine. Jeez.
Pressured into it. Do you like my new glass?
Didn't you get that at Guinness when we were at Guinness, or did you take that from a pub?
Got it for Christmas in a gift set. Ooh, look at that. He's bringing out
Archie Rose rum.
You might recognise that. You may have enjoyed that once.
By the time I found you, it was gone.
I sampled. It was nice.
Did Daniel. I'll be back.
Is that a lovely little Bamboo Labs in the background there, Todd?
That is the H2D.
Very nice.
Not so little.
I keep putting one in my basket and being like, no.
Well, the funniest part about that was I was talking with Luke before, and it's like the announcement's going to be on this date. And then they did the announcement. And I was like, oh, should I get the laser? Should I get this? Should I get this? And I dinked around enough that, it ended up costing me more to not get the laser. And Luke was just like, I just wrote the check the first day. They announced it. I said, yes, take my money. And that's what I should have done. But I was like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And the dinking around cost me.
Yeah, the Bamboo Labs really has put a spin on a lot of 3D printing companies, make them kind of rush around. I think they've changed the game quite a lot, and that's why I'm like interested in getting another one. Being like, I messed around with one at Slug Meet. I was like, that was a lot of fun. That was so easy to do and just so quick, and so good. I'm like, and I add it to my basket. I'll be like, oh no, not yet.
I did that last night.
Which one did you go for?
E2S.
E2S. I don't know what that is.
Like the P1 that everyone raves about, but it's the newer version. It's got a hardened nozzle, a few other bits and pieces.
Oh, fair enough. B2S.
E. For penis.
Oh, P. Yeah, I haven't been looking at that one. Did you get it with the AMS?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the...
It's almost like someone's got like colored stuff to print for World, Todd. You were like, you and that Tetris was my little bit of leverage to push me over the edge.
No, I really need this.
Exactly, I just needed a decent excuse.
You expensing it?
No.
Nice. Oh no, they don't have a account. Oh, they do.
I gotta say, Todd, that's just another one of your brilliant ideas. I've never seen a guy come up with so many great concepts.
I know.
That's just a fantastic idea. I love it.
And the scary thing or the funny thing is that it all revolves around the people and world. It's just like, I miss my people and I think that my people could do this. And, it's just like there's people from all over that do all sorts of different things. And we're like puzzle pieces that we all just drop in together and we're going to make this really cool thing.
Yeah, I was messaging you as well, kind of inviting other people as well to get involved.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because I did email Matt and he's like already got his letter and he's going to town. I'm like, dude, if you want another, let me know.
Yeah, because he does some great stuff with wood as well. So I thought that would, if he can do some sort of wood stuff as well, that'll make it stand out and make it pop. That's why I'm doing this stuff at my work for my little block. I'm doing it at work, so it's printed in SLS. So it's
awesome.
So with that, I'm taking advantage of what you can't get away with FDM. Well, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me boot up old SolidWorks.
I was just
because you have the built-in supports.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about supports.
Yeah. I mean, I do miss that, and I thought about that today because when I was at the reseller, I had access to one of the old Z-Core machines. And I did like little business card holders for everybody. And it was so cool because it looked like a parking garage when I was printing it because I had 4 across the bottom and then like 3 levels. No supports. It was just powder.
I think we lost your video feed there, Todd.
Oh.
Riffle is shocked.
There we go. Coming back.
He's still gone.
Oh, come on. Oh. All right. I'm going to just unplug it and plug it back in, but I should be able to stay on the code.
Have you tried rebooting
it? No, don't do that. That's crazy.
Crazy talk. So let me share my screen to show you what I've been working on.
Voice.
What's Kirby designing? Oh, nice.
That is so freaking awesome.
The main body will be SLS. I've got little MJF letters. They'll be just raw MJF. And the letters will be dyed MJF. I thought I'd slap my name on there if someone's asking, how is this made? And also verify. It's that way of like, hey, boss, this is why I'm going. They'll put the company name somewhere. And yeah. This. But yeah, it was quite fun. It was quite simple to make. It's just a bunch of ellipses on different faces and lofted and twisted.
Nice.
So that
Well,
should be
the
quite cool.
coolest thing about that is, just the really cool shapes going on in the background, like, out of control and just all over the place. But it works.
Yeah. And like this whole thing is just floating. So this would not be fun if you were to print this in FDM.
Oh, God, no. That would be a nightmare.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to printing this. I'm going to start printing it, I think, in January. I've got other things in my print queue, and I've got to kind of got to sneak it in somehow. I'm pretty happy with that.
You want to see the podcast one, Kirby?
Go for a share screen. Show the class.
Yeah, that looks really cool, too.
I need to send a request because you've locked this Zoom down to military levels.
Yeah, I know. I can kill the switch.
He's a control freak.
Hey, let me see if
Nice.
Kirby hasn't seen this yet. We messaged each other the other day and realized we were both making one.
See, like my brain is like, because I'm thinking SLS. I'm like, oh, that's a chunky boy. Oh, real chunky boy.
FDM, no problemo. I'm on my third letter now. I've taken Todd's call for we need Tetris pieces. So I'm on number 3.
What else have you got? Show me
I've
what
done
you got.
I've done a bit of a tribute for the user advocacy team for all they do for us as well. So I went a little bit off piste with this one.
Nice.
I like that because we got to give props.
Yep.
And I thought with this one, like you can whack it in that way as well, and it gives.
Yeah. Don't forget about Isabel.
Yeah, I know. I can remember her last name. I need to go back and edit that text.
Dinoco, that's it.
I knew it, yeah.
But I can't spell it.
Yeah, I was thinking like Dynaco out of Cars.
I thought that as well.
It's 2 C's.
That's how I remember it when I need to search.
Or just the child.
So, yeah, I need to tweak that and add her on the bottom, but that's about done. And then the third one's going to be kind of similar to yours, Kirby. More about me and company work, northeast of England. I'm going to put the prototype Sydney Bridge on Michael.
Nice.
And that's
not
exactly
the Angel
what
of the
I'm-
North.
I thought about the Angel of the North, but I thought it'd be hard to print. I think the Tyne Bridge is a bit easier for like a flat sculpture. People might think it's Michael's as well.
And we wouldn't want to stick the 2 countries.
Well, what would happen, Mike? My block would be like, that wide, and then you'd get the Sydney Opera Bridge, the Sydney Bridge,
Right.
and it'd be like 4 times the width.
Yeah, I was thinking of taking one of like the long shapes and doing London City Skyline as well, or something like that.
Because
Yeah,
that's one of the things I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Because Eric is doing a skyline.
It is
Eric's
quite
doing
iconic.
Seattle.
Because yeah, it was kind of like I was trying to think of what cool things to do. I was thinking podcast is exactly what you were going for. It's almost exactly the same thing I was going to do, but I was thinking it's like how are we going to print that? Who's going to print that?
That's good.
And then yeah, I was trying to think how can I do London user group, something like that. I'll figure it out. I'm deciding next week if I'm going to pull the trigger on a printer. Essentially, all of this stuff is going. Moving upstairs into a little office. We decided to, we don't have many people over, so we'll turn that second bedroom into a office. So that's
Nice.
the plan for the Christmas, New Year break. Start painting the walls and putting a desk in there, so I'll have my own space. I think actually most of the stuff will stay down here. So my wife will end up using this desk, and she likes this in the background. It's a talking point for her meetings.
My
So-
I'm just going to soundproof the room upstairs for the CNC mill, and you'll be fine.
Reinforce the floor.
Luckily, no one is adjoined on that wall, so that's okay.
Fine.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
we good. So
Good.
I found out what I will find out what my bonus will be like, so we'll see how generous.
But that was another reason I pulled the trigger, Curb. I got paid yesterday.
You're probably saving a lot not driving into work every day.
Oh, well, I've got an electric car, so no, not really. But I am saving a lot of miles, which is nice.
Yeah, miles aren't fun.
Yeah, I do 70 a day.
70 a day.
Holy cow.
4 days a week.
I'll put that into kilometers for you, Mike.
I can do some quick calculations. I'm not too bad.
I'm of the Google generation, so
It take Todd 2 years to do that.
Because I'd be riding my bike.
112 kilometers a day.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, 1.6, isn't it?
Yeah, I do 40 miles a day.
Yeah, but yours.
And I'll probably take longer than you do.
What did you change countries, do you, when you do that, Johnny?
Not quite.
Across to the west coast.
No, just up the north coast. Head towards Scotland. Stop when you hit the Tyne Bridge.
Gee, you must have just about hit. I was going to say, you just about hit the border there for that distance.
Getting that way.
I was riding my bike 8 miles each way, but now I just walk downstairs.
That's what I've been doing the last 3 weeks, Todd. It's a different feeling.
A dream.
But yeah, I've got one more Tetris shape to go. I took the T piece, didn't I, Todd? So we're gonna have to figure out.
That's the perfect shape for the Angel of the North.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Are they downloadable, Todd? They on the wiki?
Let me know what you want, and I'll send it to you.
All right, I'll email you because I was kind of half late to the party, and I saw the post, and I signed up, and I thought I should do something. So I'll have a look and send me something. I guess if everyone's going to do bridges, I better do an opera house or something.
Oh,
yeah, that would be good.
If you've got room on your printer, time before, let me send you an eye, the long 1x4.
Yeah, but
and you
get that. Yeah,
the whole skyline.
Yeah. No, I can do that because I've got we can do 300 or something across, or I can do it diagonally. So yeah, I can fit it on.
Perfect.
Fit it on the printer. So if you want to send me something, I've got a user group, our user group logo, as well as Sydney. So I do actually have a tracker vehicle, but that might be a bit difficult to break down into getting it done. So it's a bit. Well, we had a general manager leave earlier, so we did a vehicle where we printed the vehicle and we hauled it up. We ended up having to put a Wi-Fi speaker in it, but we had to print it in about 4 spots. It's about 14, 15 inches long, so about 350 or something long. So it's a fairly big item. Actually, might be so. I'm not too sure I can keep breaking that down and getting it smaller and smaller. And we'll have a look. I've got some time.
The walls just get thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got a little time. I got a little time over Christmas. So.
I mean, if you send me a step file of it at the scale that you want, the software that we have at work, I can just shrink wrap it, which will basically just get rid of all internal cavities, put like a 0.08 mil kind of skin on it, just kind of boost it up, and that will get rid of all your internal details. That's what we do with all of our architectural models. People are like, here's this house printed this big, but all the walls and everything are in there. So just shrink wrap it.
That's exactly what I've run into, is like doing, because like when I did my shed, I wanted to print it out, like the 2x4s and the plywood and all that. And it was like, I'm just going to have to scale this up a little bit, scale that up a little bit.
Yeah, it is tricky. Like, we get a lot of people that just send their massive models and just shrink it down and hope that 0.05 wall thickness shrunk down to whatever size works.
I just drag and drop my SolidWorks files into Kirby's online portal, and I'm like, Kirby, I've put something in the portal. Can you sort it out at your end? What's the point of having a mate that works there?
Yeah, that's right. If you can't pull some favors, then what's exactly right? Why have him?
Exactly. I'm always there to help out with 3D printing.
No, Todd's Tetris idea is really good. I've enjoyed it so far on the two I've knocked out so far.
And the funny thing about it is, I think that the best ones are going to come from the other side of the pond. Because, I mean, I already know that Kirby's kicks ass. Yours is awesome. I have very high expectations for Danny's. And Jade's is going to be awesome. And, you know, so it's like all these people are just going to create these kick-ass ones. So I'm like, okay, stateside, you guys have got to step up your game.
Yeah, don't just stick a logo on there.
Yeah.
We saw Theo's as well. His great connection.
His is looking good.
You know.
Where is it? Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's
Kirby, I'm gonna borrow your screen again.
Go for it.
I think. Let me know if that worked.
Yeah.
Theodore's.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. And that was like his sample. Like, this is what I think I might want to do.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, what do you mean think? It looks unreal. It's got everything in it. Yeah,
That's what I really wanted. I wanted like something from your area, something about your group, something about what you do. One of the examples I was giving was like the world's largest tangine is in Morocco. You know, just cool stuff like that. You know, what makes your area special?
Yeah. I really hope more people start to participate. Maybe if, you know, people are sharing their designs, hopefully that could get people jumping in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do a spider now, aren't I?
I tell you what, Mike, like you could probably print a nice little spider cage and bring one.
Hang on, yeah. Whoa. Good luck getting that through immigration and customs in America.
We'll have to put a hole in the plexi so he can feed it.
I'm sure the flight, the huntsman will be fine. Although he'd probably escape out no matter how small the hole are and how big the spider is. I'll just squeeze through anything.
Yeah, I mean, in South Africa we used to have similar spiders. I don't know if it's the same breed or not, but we used to call them rain spiders. Because if you ever found those spiders, and they're about the same size as a huntsman, within 24 hours, it'll rain.
Oh, yeah, no.
Really?
We get the huntsman, and it's pretty much the same here. It's actually before that. When it rains, you can guarantee you'll find them in the house because they're like everybody else. No one wants to get their feet wet. And they've got a few more feet to be concerned about. So, if it rains, they just slip themselves under the door, come into somewhere nice and warm and dry, turn the light on in the middle of the night, bam, there they are.
See, around here we have brown recluse. They're not huge, but they're like really deadly and freaking scary. I just, even thinking about it, it's like, oh my God, it's just a terrifying spider.
Like, spiders get big enough to a point. They get big enough to a point where you try and squish them. Like, they just make a mess, and you can't. They get too big, and if you try and squish them, you just got to clean it up.
Well, the brown recluse are so fast.
Mm-hmm.
They're
that's huntsman's. That's huntsman's. And again, that's why they're so scary, because you tend to, put your hand around the corner to put the light on, and they're sitting like next to the light switch. And it's like, really, guys, you got the whole house to be in, and you have to sit there. It's like, you're welcome to the house, but just like, do you have to sit on my desk? Do you have to be next to me?
Yeah, they're not deadly at all. No damage, but they hurt.
Only the Australian would say, you're welcome in the house. Just don't sit on my desk.
Well, there's nothing worse than when you're typing away and something's like tickling the side of your hand. It's like, really? Oh my God, what are you doing there? Just get up to the top of the ceiling where you belong. So now I've got to do spider, shark, I guess a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, your snakes aren't too.
Well, and don't you have like 8 of the 10 most deadly things down there?
Oh yeah, actually, and the worst is the deadliest thing is the box jellyfish. They're to the north, of course, but yeah, they're real deadly.
You got
You
your,
don't really see that.
you got your drop bears as well.
Drop bears, yeah.
Bears. Yeah, we got a few. Yeah, but look, I'm 66 years on this planet. I've managed to survive without getting killed. So I don't think it's too bad.
I remember last time when I was in Australia, I was at the liquor store. Of course I was. And just in the parking lot, there was like a herd of like 20 kangaroos.
Oh, where was that?
It was in Brisbane.
Oh, well, yeah. That explains
That's to
it all.
carry out.
It just came out. There was just kangaroos in the parking lot. I was like, "Is this what? What am I supposed to do yet? Do I panic? Do I run away? Do I
No, you
pet
just-
them?"
No,
Just tell
you
them,
put
get
your
out of-
bottles in their pouches and they carry them to the car.
Oh, they're valets.
That's right.
Nice.
Don't forget to tip them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they kick you.
That's if you don't tip them properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty
Don't
funny.
don't cheap out on kangaroo tips.
Yeah, that's a bad game. They just make an appearance wherever they feel like it. They're pretty casual.
Yeah, I feel like I need to have a little top up. It's gotten to that
Did
time.
the kangaroo? Did the kangaroo bring it to
Time
you?
to spin the wheel.
In that wheel.
Spin that wheel. I'm enjoying this wheel.
Move that bus.
Spin that.
Shuffle.
If this was a bottle shape, it could be spin that bottle.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Personally, I think you've missed an opportunity.
Oh, I'm going to have a quick Google and find out if there's one of these that's a bottle.
I think that's a different game normally.
You know what? From one fruit to another fruit, I feel like I don't need to see my doctor this week now.
I was going to say, you passing the
I'm just going to
65 a day.
say that if you threw some fireball in with that, that'd be really good. Cinnamon and apple.
You know
Who's
what?
got it?
You know what? I'll call you on that one.
Here you go.
Make it a double.
Make it a double.
That's right. Fireball that boy.
Last time I heard that in the bar was in the jury at Nashville. You want to make that a double? 5 minutes to go before the happy hour is over. Yeah, just have the whole 3 of them. Oh, we'll make them just doubles. Yeah, just take the lot.
That was, yeah, the one bar in Nashville. I can't remember how many drinks I ordered, and I asked for 4 doubles, all the doubles.
I remember this night. I remember where
And
we
the lady
were.
was pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring. Came around with the Coke and topped it all up. Got to the last one, and the soda
It ran out.
machine ran out. So she like, okay, put it down, grabbed the Jack Daniels and topped it back up with
Filled
more
it
Jack
up.
Daniels.
Just brimmed it. It was just like it was a half pint of Jack Daniels with a couple of cubes of ice.
The Coke is just for color.
It's just a coloring.
And
You got to torch that.
I'm struggling with this one. That was in my
Nashville's
teeth.
just a whole different place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a lot. I've booked a trip to Vegas in April.
Nice.
That's going to be good fun.
Hit up Puckett while you're there.
I've been chatting with him, and he's been giving me some good tips and advice. We're spending almost 2 weeks there. There's a music
Holy
festival
cow.
we're going to
Nice.
go to while we're there. It's going to be me and my wife's 10-year wedding anniversary
Nice.
that we're basically going to celebrate. And I've been given permission to plan what I'd call our second wedding. So she's given me full carte blanche to do what I want. So essentially you're going to love this. I found a place called the Little White Chapel, which is like one of the more famous little chapel places. So we booked a vow renewal type of thing. We're going to be doing it in what's called the Tunnel of, which is basically the drive-through wedding venue.
Yes.
It's going to be in a pink Cadillac. And we're going to be married by a midget dressed up as an Elvis, who's also going to sing to us.
Nice.
So I just went with what screams Vegas? What
does he sing?
Just crazy. So we're doing that, and then after that we're going to go to Fremont, which is downtown, and just go to the casinos. We've hired a photographer, which I said we're just going to go to bars and casinos afterwards, just take photos of us.
Yep. Go to the Nugget, get some food.
My son got married there. My son eloped actually at the Whitechapel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my son has an American wife now, which he met in Budapest. But that's a whole other story. But anyway, yeah, he was.
See you at the bar.
Going back to. Yeah. So they were going back to the US to visit a sister who had a baby. And he was being really cagey about saying he landed in LA and they were going to drive to Vegas, and they were going to spend a couple of days before they went across to South Carolina. And we thought, this doesn't sound right. And he kind of landed and he hired this Jeep and he kind of just like disappeared for a couple of days. We didn't hear from him. And then we get a FaceTime call one afternoon. There they are. And he's in this this silver aluminium, jacket, and she's in the background laughing, and he thinks we're going to be concerned that we weren't invited. And it was like, fantastic! You got married, you were late, fantastic. We had to do nothing to do with it. It's great.
No investment, nothing.
Yeah,
no concern, done. That's how we love it. So it was great.
It's interesting, yeah. So that's our plan. We are actually staying at the Golden Nugget as well, so
nice.
That'll be good fun. We're spending, I think, 6 nights at the Golden Nugget and 6 nights at the Flamingo.
Go hit the Stratosphere.
That's the big tall tower thing.
Yep, do the ride that shoots you up. That's where we got married.
Oh no, you got married in Vegas as well.
Yep.
That's right. You're a Vegas wedding man,
Johnny.
Yes.
Okay.
We have stories.
They stay in Vegas.
We got good stories.
When I'm in Vegas, I'll message you and you can tell me. I'm going to rent a car to drive out to the Grand Canyon as well. And
perfect.
On the way, I found a place called Bullets and Burgers, where you can go shoot guns and then eat burgers.
At the same time?
I really hope so.
Do you wrap bacon around the barrel to cook it, and then you shoot?
Yeah. The more rounds, the crispier it is.
Yeah,
because it's Murica, Murica.
Yeah, put a cow down the end of the firing range. You shoot it, go and pick up the pieces, and then grill it.
Slap a little heat on it. Call it good.
I tell you what, if I make it big in the casino and I make at least $6,000, I can pay to drive and shoot a tank at this place.
Honestly,
you got to have goals.
Yeah,
you in Vegas for 2 weeks is a recipe for disaster.
It's going to be so expensive. I'll tell you what, right now it's only cost about 30% the cost of going to Disney.
Yeah, Disney's a different experience.
I'm just scared for the fees and the taxes. No, the tips. Fees and the tips.
The resort fees.
Yeah. Well, now there's a new law. They've got to actually state exactly what your resort fees are, so I know what I'm paying. But like Flamingo was like, oh, rooms are $17 a night plus $70 resort fee per night. I'm like, so it's not $17 a night.
No.
But no. Yeah, it's.
I wonder what bail will cost him.
Have you not seen The Hangover?
We're actually going to watch that for research.
For research, it's just like it, I'm sure.
Well, and just for grins, you should go down to the clerk of the district court, because to get a marriage license, there's actually cattle gates that you go through because there's so many people that go through there.
Yeah, so we don't need a license because we're doing vow renewal. We can go
but
there
you
and
just
get a
gotta see it.
certificate. But I'm like, I can't be asked to deal with all of that just for the certificate. So I'm not going to really fuss with it. But I spoke to the wedding coordinator. They're going to make a certificate specifically, like branded by
For
the chapel.
renewal.
Yeah, just so that stamps on the thing and something to hang on the wall, something to take home.
And that white space behind your head.
Well, I've got a whole new room to fill up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's our 10-year wedding anniversary, but we've been together for 20 years in the same kind of date almost. So, like Sarah was like, "Oh, it's a bit of money." I was like, "It's our 10-year. Let's
Don't speak to me about money this year.
don't worry."
Married on the 4th of January, kid on the 23rd of November. You think you're having an expensive year?
Oh, Mr. Buy's printer.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Meanwhile, the two old guys are like, ha ha ha, kids.
Yeah, exactly right. You got nothing yet. You think you've got.
Why do you think I've bought the printer now?
Yeah.
Get it while you can.
Yep. That's the next 20 years of printing right there.
Those machines are going to last. I mean, having a conversation with some of the younger guys at work. Younger guys.
Oh, God.
Oh.
I was chatting with him. It's like, they looked at me like, "You're like what, 40, 45? I was like, "No, 35. And they could not believe it. It's all these little greys that work's giving me. Like, they won't give me a bonus, but they'll give me grey hairs.
Most people at my work think I'm like mid-30s onwards, Curbs. Don't worry.
I tell you what, until about a year ago, I thought Jonny was in his 30s.
Listen to these youngsters, Todd.
I've known him for
Coming
4
round.
years. I still don't know
Coming
how
round.
old you are, Jonny.
I'm 30 in probably around 50 days.
You're still in your 20s.
Just.
I've got clothes older than you.
You've got a
I
knee
have
younger than
bike parts older
me.
than you.
Your bike's here. Exactly right.
That's adorable.
But I tell you what,
Yeah, but we all know I haven't exactly looked after the chassis very well.
I tell you what, that's one thing I really enjoy about this community. Going to World and all that stuff is just throwing yourself in a room full of people from all sorts of parts of the world, different generations, different industries, different walks of life. Get to hang out, learn from each other, find out more stuff from each other.
It's that same core bond.
I said it from.
Core, did you catch that?
He can come again.
Yeah.
Hold on,
I said it.
I'll
I said
put
that from
the
my first
logo on the
world.
screen. People can still hear us. The core. Okay, you hear that? The core. I'm having
I said
fun
it
with
from
these
day one,
transitions.
from my first world I went to, where basically I met a lot of people for the first time, although I'd known them in the community for a few years before that. I think it was the most comfortable place I'd ever been in regards to not knowing people, in regards to just instantly it was comfortable, instantly the
I
discussions
agree.
were easy, instantly you had a connection, a relationship, and again through
Zach.
age and gender and race and all those things, it just didn't seem to at all matter.
Well, I mean, my
from-
first
you know,
world,
from-
I
from the
gave
moment.
the legal and insurance team a run for their money. Thought I'd see every part of LA, including the local hospital.
Yeah, I'm sure you definitely didn't have insurance that year.
No, I didn't. But yeah, but your comments there, Mike, I think that's a good conversation point. Is that, Mike, what was your first 3D experience world? Or SolidWorks world back then?
SolidWorks world,
2011, wasn't it?
2011, correct? Yeah, I had actually I'd actually known a lot in the community from about 2007, 2008. That's when in the days when social media was actually a nice place to be, when it was just
I agree.
taking off.
What insurance?
And
I have
we
lifetime
actually
insurance
have a
now.
very good SolidWorks community on Twitter at the time, and that had just taken off. So I knew a lot of people early on. And
So I just want to say
no,
welcome, Matt, and welcome, Cam. Sorry. A couple of people listening in the chat. You guys can't see it, so carry on. Sorry.
So 2000, so October, November 2010, SolidWorks at the time had run what they called a internet corresponding competition. Matt West was running it. And I looked at it one day. I was at work. I literally flicked onto the page. I wrote an absolutely scathing attack on Americans as a general, telling them how, Australian beaches were better and, generally bagging their slow accent and all that. Amused myself.
You let the Australian come out, didn't you?
Actually, I let the Australian come right out.
Tell us
Amused
about your
myself
first
for
3D
10
experience,
minutes
Will,
writing.
in the chat.
Pumped it off, thought zero of it. Nothing. Like it was for my own entertainment and amusement at the time. And lo and behold, it was just before this early October, Matt West messaged me saying, we want you guys, we want you to come. We want to make you the winner. And it was like, what? Why would they fly this guy from Australia? And as I say, I had a connection. I'd been involved in the forum, and I was getting known. I was, at the time, and so it wasn't like it was unknown. And I rocked up at San Antonio in 2000 for SolidWorks World in 2011. Was the Omni? Was it?
No, that was San Antonio.
Yeah, San Antonio. But where we were staying, and I thought it was, I couldn't remember if it was the Omni or wasn't the Hilton, because we used to have to walk from where we were. We used to have to walk through the Hilton to get to the convention center. So it was really hard to get back, because from the afternoon convention center, you get to the Hilton, you have to stop, have a drink, and before you got back to where we were staying.
It's the rule. It's the rule.
And it was
the bar, have to stop.
And it was just instantaneously at the time. I mean, obviously, somehow I got dumped on Jeff Mirasola and Matt Lorono, and now I can't get rid of Jeff Mirasola. That's the tip for World this year. Mirasola will be there on Saturday night. So
I tell you what, like Jeff from the stories, he's this legend. He's this entity that I think Jonny and I have gravitated towards.
Well,
so knowing that he's going to be there on the Saturday, I feel like Saturday's going to be the rough night.
And here's the funny thing with Jeff, because Michael was sitting with Jeff at, I think it was 2016, and we had just come out of the user group leader meeting, and Jeff was like, I was at World in 2006. I don't remember any of that. I was like, none of it happened. And Michael was sitting there right there with him in the hallway, because that was like right after I came out, and he's like, I don't remember any of that. And it's like, none of it happened.
Yeah, no. So I got dumped on Jeff, and I mean, the World was just I think your first World.
You're cautious. You're kind of like, ooh.
Well, not even just cautious. Naive young lad from Australia. And so part of those days advocacy group. So we were like the first general session. We're front row. Obviously, Kevin Bacon makes an appearance, and then obviously the Apollo 11 with Gene Kratz and Captain Commander Jim Lovell is on stage. And I mean, it was, this I will tell you, it was the eeriest silence seeing these, to be honest, two older gentlemen like on stage just talking about Apollo 13.
I mean, I tell you what, that like listening to stories of like the presenters back then and kind of the presenters that we've had over the past few years have been somewhat average. I feel like this year is kind of stepping back into that realm.
This year's been.
You didn't like the human highlighter last year?
No, I think this year everything has stepped back up. Well, obviously the special event's going to be at the Space Center. Huge.
CEO of NVIDIA.
Huge event. And obviously the whole all the presenters this year have again stepped up. But yeah, like my first year, so that first general session, it was like I'm just like, and it was just that was the whole, and it just goes through in like in a total blur. Tuesday night event was at a place called Cowboys Dance Hall, which there's a few of those in the States, and they had an indoor rodeo, and it was a wild place. They bring out like, like again, everything is just a buzz, and then it's really happening. They rock and band on, and then they bring out these test tube shooters, and that was just like.
Was it your first rodeo?
It was my first rodeo, like in a big way. So
the food there was so good.
Oh yeah, it was just and so the whole week, and then of course the fatal error, because I had no idea what was happening, and it was all arranged by Dassault for me, which reminds me I must have a
Oh, we might have lost them there for a second.
You froze. Come on, Michael. You got this.
Australia's reached the dark side of the moon.
Because the funny thing about 2011 in San Antonio was I also won tickets because the Matthew West that he was talking about was the media guy at the time. And he had arranged this contest, like, what's your best excuse for not being able to make it to World or, not registering yet? And I pulled the Blues Brothers, and it was like, I was late. I was, the whole speech from the subway, or not the subway, but the sewers. I gave that whole thing, and it was like, well, actually, I just switched jobs, and so I couldn't ask the new company. And so I also won tickets to World. He's back. All right, Michael.
I'm back. Oh. Anyway, so that's my standard running joke with Brenda ever since then, that she's just totally left me hanging at the airport. So anyway, no, it was, but yeah, no, I think this year's been, so yeah, and the worst thing about it, again, because they'd organised all the flights, I left on the Wednesday night after the event. God, I was never so wasted on a flight on the way home. I was shot, like just total, and we all know that you can't leave Wednesday night.
No.
Because you were just totally, we're just totally physically and mentally exhausted after and the lack of sleep and the amount of sessions you've been to, the amount of conversations, the amount of information you've tried to absorb over a 3-day period. You were just mentally shot. And I got on this plane, and I 14 hours flight, I slept I think 15 of them. I was just gone. I came home never so crook in my life. So,
I mean, Todd, I'd love to hear your first world experience.
2006.
So you're coming up on 20 years.
Yes, I've been to. This year will be my 18th. There was 2 that I missed, but 2006. Basically, I learned SolidWorks in 2002. I started asking my company right away. It's like, hey, the more I dig into this, there's this SolidWorks World thing. And I wanted to go, and I kept asking. And finally, by the time they had said no multiple times, I said, I really want to go. And I was dating Jade at the time. And she's like, why don't you just pay for it yourself, just take some vacation and go. And it's, she's like, we haven't been on a trip together yet because we had just started dating. And it's like, yeah, let's do it. So I signed up and, paid for the conference, paid for the plane tickets, paid for the hotel, all myself. It's like, okay, we're going to Vegas. And then it was like, we're going to be in Vegas. Might as well get married while we're there. Because we had been dating for a while. And so we arranged all that. So we had all this stuff laid out in like August, September. And so in January, we just rolled down to Vegas, and it's like we got there. Okay, we woke up really early the next morning, went down, got our marriage certificate, got all checked in and everything. Monday morning, went to general session. At lunch, we went over to the Stratosphere, jumped on the Big Shot, got married to Elvis vows on the Big Shot, and came back. We went to lunch, and then we came back it was all at Caesars. Came back to Caesars. We were pulling up as the Mythbusters were leaving. And it was like, oh my God, the Mythbusters. So, hey, shake hands and all that and get pictures and all that. Yeah, that was our first year.
That's really cool.
Well, and that was still to this day the best offsite event, because they loaded up the buses, they moved everybody to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and apparently they had gone to Enterprise Rent-A-Car, rented a whole bunch of cars. They had professional drivers that would take you around the oval at like 120 miles an hour so you could see what it's like. And then over here on the drag strip, they had pairs of cars, and it's like, okay, they'd pull around a pair and you'd jump in and you'd race down the drag strip, pull around. And so they had like Dodge Magnums, Dodge Chargers, Mustangs. They had like the Audi TTs were turning the fastest times. And so as we were watching, it was like we started counting cars, and it's like, oh my God, we might get the Audis. We might get the Audis. They pulled around, and it's like, yeah, we got the Audi. So Jay jumped in one, I jumped in the other. We watched the Christmas tree, and we raced, and quarter mile, 100 plus miles an hour, and jumped out. And then we went over and we did other stuff. They had a road race course, and it was the best offsite event to date.
Before you carry on that, Johnny said he's got to disappear in about 5 minutes. I want to grab your first world story real quick.
Me?
Yes.
For Dallas, wasn't it?
Dallas 2019.
Is it 19?
Yes.
No, I can't. It must have been before that. No,
it was Dallas, and then we did.
Me and Mike were reminiscing about this. Mike and his
fancy outfit. 16 or 19.
It was 19.
19. There's 19.
When was COVID?
2020. But we did
20.
Nashville, and then COVID happened.
Yeah, we did Nashville and COVID hit, so it was 19. Yeah, I got an invite through Rachel, didn't I? I had to
go through Luke.
Through Luke. Luke hooked me up with Rachel, and Rachel was like, I'll give you a free invite, but you got to make your own way there. Yeah. So I paid my flights, and I had that little apartment on
You had the pool table.
I had a pool table, but it was in rough as fuck downtown Dallas.
Yeah, right by the eyeball.
Yeah, it was not near the eyeball. It was like it was like fucking Homeless Central. That was when the scooters came in like really clutch, because I was using them to get back on a night so I couldn't get stabbed.
Yeah, there was a night where I could barely even stand on a scooter, and we still scooted to McDonald's. Yeah,
but you didn't get banned from Uber. I rode a scooter off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell off the back of a scooter going off a curb, and it kept going into traffic, and it after so long, the front wheels lock when they don't sense weight, and it basically just like forward rolled for like 20 meters, and it was fucked. There's no other word. It was fucked.
There was a point where Johnny and I were in McDonald's. Everybody had left, and I'd bought like 6 burgers and a bunch of chips for myself. I just started handing it out to the homeless people.
As we looked round, and there was me and him, and at least 30 homeless people sat in this McDonald's, and we were the only 2 people in there. And Kirby's got like 3 trays of food in McDonald's at like 4 a.m. He's just like, I'm not hungry anymore. I want to go. Just starts handing it out. I was like, you're going to cause an absolute riot in here.
But yeah, like from there, Johnny got very integrated in the community.
Did well.
Just like
when I met Kirby. And we did Nashville, didn't we? We had a reunion at Heathrow Airport. We hadn't spoke for a year the next year. And then it was Nashville year, so...
Yeah, we met at the CSW... the Cad Monkey dinner.
Met Cad Monkey. Luke introduced me because he knew you.
Did a whole load of karaoke and other drinks and whatnot. Had a good time. And the next morning, I can't remember who it was, came up to us with the live team. It was Rachel. She came up with the live team. Basically said to Johnny, "You're the new guy." I said to me, "You're the ambassador. Okay, we're going to film this. You're going to talk about World." And we're like, okay. Hungover as shit. Still trying to figure out what's going on. Standing there by the roller coaster.
Yeah, that matters.
Like, oh, okay. So yeah, camera comes over. So that was Kirby. You've been here a few times. I'm like, yeah, been here a few times. It's great. It's good to be back. I know quite a few things. This is Johnny's first time. Johnny's like, yeah, first time. Interesting event. It's great. We were toasted. Like, we were still trying to recover from the night before, but it was good. But it was just that moment of like, you guys are doing this thing. We're like, oh, okay.
For some reason Dallas and Nashville has that effect on people.
Yeah. That was the year that I walked back with you dressed up in your, like, you had the flat cap and your suit jacket and all that stuff.
I remember. There are still photos floating around. That's all Nicole's fault. You know that, because I was scared in the cold and I didn't want to let her down.
Yeah, it was good.
The Swuggle dinner.
Yeah, like it was.
Swuggle dinner.
I think like most of us here, we were thrown into this community of people.
Actually,
and we're just kind of like, yeah, you're cool. You can hang out with us.
It's good.
Well, that's how we end up with Cam's still hanging around. Cam was involved that night as well. Cam walked back, and I remember coming in. I said to Cam, I said, we're heading back to the Omni, and don't go past the sports bar if you walk back up that way. And I said, do you want a beer? And he said yes. And that led it up to a few extra hours at the sports bar that night. So
yeah, it was one night in the sports bar with Luke Daly, and he managed to get well oiled. Like, I almost had to carry him back to the hotel. We thought he was going to break the glass at the Omni because we walked outside and Johnny and Jade were sitting on the couches inside. Yeah,
that was second
he
year.
He mounted and climbed onto that glass and he was banging on it to try and get their attention.
This you know, like
pull him off it.
30 foot pane of glass. The whole thing's like moving by like, I'm talking inches of movement in it. I was like, this might be a bigger insurance claim than Kirby's leg.
Yeah,
this is bad.
Yeah, Todd, you're telling us about you had the Audi TTs, your special event.
Yes,
for your first World
drag race down Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I mean, it was just crazy because like the cars would pull around, people would jump out, they would hand you their helmets, you'd put the helmets on, throw them on, jump in the car, and it's like you just watch the tree, and it's like race down the quarter mile, and then turn around and jump out, and somebody else would jump in.
British Health and Safety would have...
Oh, God. It would never fly today.
Well, there's been some great special events like that. Johnny. Universal Studios in 2000. Oh,
that was awesome.
And when we had 5,000 people who had Universal Studios to ourselves, you've never seen people run. They come off the roller coaster and they would just be sprinting back up to get back on literally the same roller coaster they just got. Yeah, Todd, there's some great pictures from there. I mean, and that was probably the night of the best food. Like, you couldn't walk 100 meters without walking to it. There was just food everywhere that night.
Yeah, so my
it was just...
my first World was 2017 in LA, the first LA. I feel like I got soft launched into the community because I was first brought over for the community event in Waltham in Boston, where we all stayed at that hotel just outside of the Patriots Stadium, and they had that user advocacy kind of day.
It was like late 2016.
Yeah, so that was the first time, and I was like, "Oh, this is exciting!" Flew out there.
No, that was 17, wasn't it?
No, it was 16.
17 November 16. November 16.
Yeah, the first one was 16, And that's
I
what
was
started.
supposed to be at that one, but that was the year that we were going over to the UK, and I was like, I can't take this vacation and this vacation. So I had to tell Richard I couldn't make it.
Yeah, it was Rachel who brought me over for that and did the event, and I started to chat a lot of to people about 3D printing and like, you know, I'm a guy who just makes stuff. I'm a maker. I print guns, 3D print them. That's what I do. So I was put into this whole scenario with a bunch of engineers and all that stuff, and met, you know, a handful of people throughout this whole thing, and I was like, that's amazing. And then the next day we all went to the Waltham campus and we got to explore that and hang out there. And that's when Rachel said, like, I really want to try and get you to World next year. I was like, that'd be fantastic. Figure it out. Got my invite out to World. First time going to this whole thing. It's in LA. Beautiful glitz glamour. This is amazing for me. I'm having an amazing time. And I land, basically drop myself at the hotel, go straight to the convention center. The front foyer of the LA Convention Center, they've got TV screens. Everybody's watching the Super Bowl and just having the welcome reception with TVs. Everybody's just watching the Super Bowl. We have a good time. We then go to Rachel's local dive bar, have a couple of drinks and that stuff. Check out for a first night. I was like, that's great. Second night, Monday night, go to the CSW event. I decide to jump off the stage and fracture my ankle.
Nice work. Captain Cautious.
So Matt Hall is appreciate the dialogue. You guys are awesome. Don't know about Michael's time, but you UK guys based. Do you ever sleep? No, it's Friday night, Matt. It's only
Matt's
25 to 1. Johnny's got a newborn who I think
I am about to jump.
He's about to go and do daddy duty.
But I have one last parting gift that I want to discuss.
Go for it. Go, Johnny, you go for it.
These stickers are very limited.
What, limited to 500?
No, not 500. I didn't go that high in the end. So if you want one, you've got to find me in Kirby at World.
Can I have one?
I'll give you a few.
I don't know where we'll find you. I'm sure we'll bump into ourselves somewhere.
Hang on.
Yeah,
I can show you where you'll find us.
you see
hang
the
on.
seats at the end.
We were normally around these three stools.
You point at them, Johnny. You got to point at them.
Yeah, those. No, we're more at this end, a little further down this way, towards where the
Kind of
rugby is on in the background there. Yeah, about there.
Yeah,
That's not rugby. That's that's they got two forms of football on at the same time.
That's what is that? No, that's someone being tackled.
Yeah, NFL, and then you got soccer.
I'll send
Oh, is
you
it?
guys I'll send you guys the background photo. You can discuss it.
We'll go through every bottle of liquor they have, what fruit they got in the bowl.
Yeah, I like the fruit bowl. It's a nice touch. So they can throw it at you come 2 minutes past midnight.
I
But yeah,
know
like,
what liquor they have there.
I broke my ankle at the CSW party and kind of hobbled my way to the bar with a friend of mine who literally I met that morning. Fucking legend of a guy. He came with us to the hospital and everything like that. Don't speak to him anymore.
Helpful.
No, I basically said we need to find Rachel. Like, she's the one that, you know, sponsored me to come over. I need to figure this out. We need to find Rachel. So we find Rachel, and unfortunately the point that we found Rachel was the exact second that she had just sat down with her first drink of the night, of the Monday night. And we came to her and we're like, I need to go to the hospital. I think I've just broken my ankle. Matty Hall, I have to drop, gents. Thanks and have a good weekend. Happy holidays. Looking forward to seeing you in Houston, February. We are looking forward to seeing you. He also says the screens seem to be showing football, US football, and hockey. So, three of us go into the back office. That's where I have to fill out the venue's insurance forms and all that. And while we're sitting there, there's a big wall of CCTVs. And I basically say, it's like, can you get the footage of this happening, please? So the guy's like, yeah, let's do it. And kind of rewinds, we watch it happen. I get the footage, I pull my phone out and record it. I was like, this is hilarious. We didn't get an ambulance to the hospital. We got a Uber, but we got a shared Uber. So there was a stranger in the car with us at the same time.
I love it. I love the DS approach. We'll fly you out there, but you'll have to use shared Ubers. Sorry, none of this executive shit.
So we did that. Hung out at the hospital, and Rachel stuck it out with me. We were there till about 2:00 in the morning, and then she got an Uber for us to go to a local Walgreens 24 hours to go and get my medication, which was just pain tablets and anti-inflammatories. They basically said, like, your ankle's kind of fucked, but you'll be all right. Best bet is that we kind of check you out now, go back to the UK, get it sorted out there. Like, they were very nice. They were like, we're not going to do any more. Which I was like, fair enough. They put me in an air boot. Gave me some I went to go get the anti-inflammatories. They were like $15, and then they're like, cool, the pain tablets are like $60. I'm like, I'm going to stick with paracetamol. I'm good, thank you.
You broke an ankle.
Yeah, and
would you like me to bring you some pain meds for you?
Sorry?
Would you like me to bring some pain meds for you this year? I've got a whole pack of opioids I'm not using.
Oh, you got some of that good stuff.
Oh yeah, I got some good stuff I haven't touched.
So yeah, we they were nice enough. Like they were kind of like, look, there was this weird line that across that, like, something I should have asked before is that how should insurance work? Should I get my own insurance? Because I'm sponsored by SOLIDWORKS, am I under their insurance? Have a good one, Johnny. Good luck.
See you all later, gents. Good to hang out.
Good to see you, Johnny.
See you soon, mate.
Hanging out, Johnny.
Keep the knee oil.
Yeah. Keep the knee oil.
Should be fine, mate. Should be fine.
See you later. Bye, guys.
Have a good one, Johnny. There was that awkward conversation. But I think what SOLIDWORKS decided to do in the end was like, let's not let this guy sue us. We'll get him a scooter. So I had the little scooter. So my first special event was the one at Paramount Pictures. Absolutely amazing. I love film. I love all that kind of stuff. But I was stuck in the scooter. I met this guy on the Tuesday day, kind of going between sessions, and ended up chatting with him. And when I got to the special event, he found me and he fed me. He made sure I was fed and watered the whole night. Every 10 minutes, he was coming up to me. So he has a beer from this place. He has food from this place. He has a beer from this place. He has food. It's fantastic. I loved it. And I think if you remember, it was a bit rainy, so we were all under the tarpaulin and that. So I kind of hobbled my way. I had crutches as well. I hobbled my way into some of the little sets and all that. Eventually, I found my way. I went off the beaten track, kind of where you're not supposed to go. I found a security guard. It's like, look, I got to go and pee. The toilets that you guys got to sort it out for the event are not really suited to what I need. So they took me to one of the sound stages, and they're like, don't look at anything that's inside here. Just go to the toilets. So went and did that. But yeah, flew out on the Thursday morning. Paid about an extra $50 for the Uber driver just to do a detour past the Hollywood sign and all that stuff on the way to the airport to be like, I'm in a predicament here. Let's figure this out. Luckily for me, the flight was empty, so they didn't upgrade me because I was like, ooh, I need to have my leg elevated. And they're like, okay, take a whole row instead. I was like, made my way back, and I was still in shorts and t-shirt because it was really sunny in LA the day I left. And I landed in the UK in the snow. No change of clothes or anything like that. So I had to kind of make my way back, and this is when we still had the flat and everything, so I had to take the tube and buses and all that stuff in the snow and all that. And I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and all that, freezing on my crutches. But that was my first experience for World. I got my hospital bill in the end. I did a layaway plan. I paid it off monthly. But it was that kind of thing of will they ever let me come back? And they did. But not that same year, they invited me back to the User Advocacy Day in Waltham. I had a work convention at the same time. I said, I cannot go to this. But I'd like to introduce you to Luke Daly. please send him. Trust me. He does amazing stuff. And he did. Luke Daly went along. I don't know if you guys were at that user advocacy day. He was there with his Kylo Ren statue and everything like that. Met a lot of people, got integrated into the community at that event. And then 2017 came and both of us were flown out to World. And I was like, this is amazing. You guys are you're bringing me back. And one thing I always find, one thing I always try and do when I get given opportunities like these, is I try and share that opportunity and be like, who else can I get involved in this? Yeah, Luke joined in with that, and it's kind of grown and expanded.
Well,
they've always brought me back.
We have to understand that meeting, that event at 17 in November, I was there because that was a year Tracker provided the data set. So I did the presentation and looked at the presentation. That is a significant meeting because that's where Luke and Christian from Bowhead met. And that was the start of that relationship. And obviously we know where that has now led with, it was critical of that meeting that they then met. And we know what has gone on with the connection between Luke and Bowhead, and obviously the association with World from there. So that was a very significant introduction.
Yeah, we've made so many connections. Funny. I just want to acknowledge that Eric, thank you for joining us.
Eric has entered the chat.
Yes. Hey. Well, hi there, ho there.
Funny thing about
hey there, hi there, and ho there.
Yeah, it's
the 2016 user advocacy event I was supposed to go to, and I couldn't make it. So that's when I think Richard had Betty go, and he just kind of paired her off with Steve from Texas. And so that's where Betty and Steve kind of came into the big fold.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there's a little more to that part of the story. Again, it was the same thing. We had left the hotel and we were going to walk down to an ESPN bar down there, and there was myself, there was Mirasola, Rob Rodriguez, and Malay, and we just walked out, and we just got a little bit from the hotel, and next we hear Richard's yelling, guys. We turn around and here's Richard with Betty, and Richard goes, it's Betty Baker from Wisconsin. Do you mind if Betty hangs with you? No, she's fine. And literally he goes, this is Betty Baker. Do you mind if he hangs with you? Turns around and disappears.
And he bails.
And
yeah, he did the same thing.
He bails. And so he literally runs. He's done that with me a couple of times over the years. And that was the famous lunch that we had, which Steve was there. And this is the famous lunch that Betty claims that she didn't understand a single word that any of us said during lunch because she thought I had an accent.
Nothing compared to the Wisconsin
girl. Nothing from the Wisconsin girl.
Johnson.
Oh, for corn's sake, don't you know?
Don't you know? Yeah, sure, you betcha.
I had such an interesting conversation with Richard and with Rachel discussing user group stuff. And they were like, oh, you part of any user groups? I was like, no, but I'd really love to be a part of one. And I've looked, and in London there's none. And the reaction was, so start one. That just triggered in my mind. I was like, you can do that? Like, that's possible? And I walked away from that event at World in 2017 and came back. That was in February. May, I had my first user group meeting. Held in London. Luke Daly came down for it. Richard came down for it. He flew over to the UK for it. And it was just from that one thing of just saying yes. So, to catch you up, Eric, we are busy discussing our first 3D or SolidWorks world.
Oh, right on. Right on.
So I would absolutely love to hear your story.
Oh, okie dokie. Well, let's see. I knew about World all the way from, the very first one, but at that time I was still teaching at the community college in North Seattle, and trying to go to any type of conference or event or anything was nigh on impossible. And so for the first few years I didn't even try. Then, especially when I'd heard about, the one that was held in near blizzard conditions in Boston. So I was like, no, if that's gonna be what they do, I mean, I left Ohio to get away from that kind of stuff. So no, no. So then finally in 2003, I was like, okay, it's being held down in the Disney occupied territories in near Orlando, and so I was like, well, let me try and pull something off here. So I saw that they were having, they had an educator discounted rate. They had, a free attempt at taking the CSWP. And back then, just to kind of set the stage for that, back then it was like an all-day proctored exam. It cost about $500, and you could only take it at a reseller's training facility. So it was like trying to take it. It was nowhere near like it was today. So I started figuring out everything, and I went to my department head, and she was all for it, but of course, she didn't have much funding to send me. And so we identified some possible, resources on campus. And I strung together like 3 or 4 different little mini grant applications from various departments, both on our campus and the greater Seattle Community College District, to cover, my registration and my airfare. I ended up I paid for the lodging myself, and Kathy came with me, and we just had Bronwyn at the time. She was about 2.5, 3.5. So it was at Disney Coronado Springs Resort. So we were like, okay, all right, we'll make a little family vacation out of it and everything. And so I managed to. That was my first world, and that's where I met Marie Blanchard for the first time. Met Phil Sluter for the first time. Although I'd talked and interacted with him because met him through my dear friend Michelle Pillars, and but yeah, it was a fantastic event. I still got back then when you submitted your presentation, you had to submit the whole thing way in advance, and they actually burned a CD or a DVD. For this one it was a CD of all the presentations. So you had the PowerPoint slides or whatever. So I've still got that. I've still got the little folio binder. We didn't get a backpack that year, because I would definitely still have that, being the pack rat that I am and everything, or high functioning hoarder, I think is more appropriate term to describe me. But But yeah, so that's that was that. I took the CSWP exam. That was on either the Saturday before or the Sunday before. I can't honestly recall now, but Jeremy Lucchini had just become the certification director, like officially, like a couple days before or something. I passed the exam, and like I said, back then it was 8 hours. It was proctored. There was a written portion. There was the practical portion, and it encompassed parts assemblies and drawings. And I feel I had a distinct advantage in the practical portion because the various parts in the assembly that they use were the same parts in assembly that I used for my project for my SolidWorks students as like their kind of capstone project for the end of the term. So like I knew those dimensions backwards, forwards, in metric and imperial units, and I just flew through that portion. But yeah, so I ended up obviously passing, and that was also the world. Again, it was 2003, where there never was a SolidWorks 2002 edition. There was 2001, there was 2001 plus, and then they did so much development and overhaul work that it just kind of blurred through that year. And 2003 was the next release. And that's where they introduced multi-bodies for the first time. And so it was also at that world where Mark Biasotti, who later went on to, work for SolidWorks for many years as their surfacing grand expert.
Freaking guru.
Yeah, exactly. He had modeled up, a whole bunch of different vehicles. An Aston Martin, helicopter tank, whole bunch of stuff, and he created this animated video called "Kill Another CAD." And it was a spoof on the James Bond movie that had just been recently released at the time, called Die Another Day. And so in this video, you can still find it. You can find it on YouTube, but they've stripped some of the references out of it because it used to like label the enemy vehicles trying to get Bond and his Aston Martin as like PTC and Autodesk and like a few others and everything. So they had to change that to keep the litigation experts at bay. But you see him like he's driving on the ice just like in Die Another Day, and there's a big hole in the ice, so he like launches these torpedoes, and it's like the multi-body introduced. And then like fill surface was introduced in that release, so he launches a fill surface to like flood in the hole in the ice so he can drive over it. And there was like some serious enhancements to 3D sketching. So he was like using a 3D sketch to guide the missiles that he had fired at either a helicopter or a tank or something. So just an incredibly, freaking amazing video. And, he had just done it for himself and to, show off his abilities. Well, he ended up showing it to the powers that be there. And so on the third day, general session, they actually slotted it in and played it for the entire 5,000 some people assemblage there. And so yeah, it it was quite memorable. And Kathy and Bronwyn, they had a wonderful time, exploring, Disney, and we stayed an extra day or two afterwards so that I could enjoy the parks with them, and then came back.
It's always fun when you get to make a trip out of it.
Oh, indeed. And then didn't go back for 10 more years.
So Eric, I've been playing this little game tonight. Okay. I've got a collection of various whiskeys because I've got a Jack Daniels advent calendar. So I've got wee little bottles and various other ones. My glass is empty, so I'm going to play a game of what is Kirby drinking?
Oh.
World really needs to go back to Disney again.
It's so
2013 was
for
great.
Sure.
Okay.
13 was just a great year.
I'm going to veto this because I just had some apple. So I'm going to do it again.
And
No,
it was,
shit. So, Karen?
No, I was going to say it's also very timely that Eric should drop, Phil Sluter's name in there. That was when only Eric and Phil had user groups, was it? When there was only the two user groups.
Actually, Hal in just north of you. I think Hal had his user group at the time. Oh, south. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's in Melbourne, isn't he?
In Melbourne, yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes,
so Hal had
very
his
early
group.
on.
Yeah. As I recall, his was the third user group.
Yep, correct.
So, you saying that you extended your trip for your first world to stay in Disney. I think my second ever world, which was 2018, the second year in LA, that was the first time I extended my trip. I discussed it with Rachel. I was like, hey, whether I fly back on the Thursday or I fly back the following week, tickets are the same price. I'll check out of my hotel. I'll go and stay somewhere else. So me and Sarah, it's quite interesting, this, actually. So Sarah flew out on the Wednesday, and she joined me at Rachel's little shindig in her dive bar in the first night that she arrived. But yeah, we stayed there. We went to all the theme parks and we did Disney. First time ever doing Disney. We did Disneyland. Absolutely amazing. And then, last year, Sarah and I extended our stay. She joined me for the whole convention this time. She was actually thrown into the middle of this community of people, which welcomed her with open arms. Someone who's never touched the software, never done any form of engineering. They're just like, you're amazing. Welcome. And we're so welcomed by this community. I remember the first night, it was Cad Monkey. I said to Sarah, I need to go and do my rounds and speak to people. And I kind of got halfway down the bar. I turned around and Josh Mays was sitting there with Sarah talking to her about London, living in London and life in London and all that. She felt so welcome in this community. But we extended our stay. We did a road trip of Texas. It was awesome. This year, we extended our stay as well, and we ended up going to Disney World, which was super amazing. So, SolidWorks World has kind of allowed us to go to all these Disney parks, and we had the crazy idea of deciding, we went to Disney World in February and October. We booked a trip to Disneyland in Paris, so we ended up doing Disney twice in a year. I think it's fair to say we like Disney now at this point.
Oh, for sure. And haven't you been to Paris Disney a couple times now?
It was our second time at Disneyland Paris. My wife,
okay.
I don't know if you know, between her and I, we like a lot of metal music and that kind of style of things. So
I see your Instagram feed.
Halloween is our vibe. And basically what had happened was Disney always had this Jack Skellington, which was this helmet that kind of came to the cheeks and then the jawline was just painted, which didn't look like the original character. And what they finally did, they finally released the character that was the full head, and when the character, when the person inside spoke, was attached to their jaw, and the jaw moved around, and it actually looked like the character. And we saw that. Booked a trip to Paris, and we're like, we have to go and see this character. And
I'm only an elected official.
Yeah, and we did it, and we're like, this is so good. So, yeah, in a way, World has kind of introduced us into this world of Disney, and now we're going maybe every year.
Right on.
You just have to do Disney in
Tokyo.
Osaka.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Shanghai, there's Bangkok, I think, and then there's Tokyo.
Yeah, 10 years ago, Kathy took Bronwyn and Gemma to Japan for like 2.5, 3 weeks, and they went to the Disney facility there. That's the various oceans and seas, and that was an incredibly impressive facility. They said,
Have you guys seen the latest animatronics from Disney?
I
the ones that
think
released
so.
like a month ago.
Oh, I think I saw something on YouTube, their Imagineering channel, where they were doing some of the stuff, but
I'm going to find this real quickly, and I'll show the class once I've found it. But basically, like Disneyland Paris is releasing the first like kind of frozen land. There's one in Tokyo, I think, and they're releasing one in Paris. And they've just done a lot of research on this animatronic for
the Olaf. Yeah, that exactly. That's the one I saw on YouTube recently, and that's just freaking amazing.
It's just
And of course, the Spider-Man robot,
Walt Disney Imagineering showed off
does
its new
nightly aerial gymnastic routine. That's just beyond cool.
Going to share with the class. So this is the Olaf. So this is a fully autonomous.
Today in
droid.
Paris, Walt Disney
Like it's literally the walks and moves exactly like the character. And like if you think about this from a child's perspective, that is Olaf. That is the actual character.
Oh, for sure.
And like it's talking, it's moving exactly how the character is, and it's amazing. But like even the little arm movements and everything, you can even take the nose off as part of kind of the some of the little tricks that they have for it. But it's just it's real.
Yeah, no, I love the Imagineering videos that they put out with all the behind the scenes stuff that they're doing. It's just so amazing.
Honestly, it's why I love going to these parks, is that as an engineer, you're kind of looking at everything and be like, how is that made? Where?
Yeah.
Because we were there on the Halloween night, and on Halloween, they do a whole bunch of extra stuff, a lot of extra projections. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, where are your projectors? Where's everything placed? How are you doing that? How is this working? And like, as an engineer, and you're seeing this happening and you can't figure it out, it's magic.
And I believe in one of our recent Zoom calls, Grant Mattis alluded to the fact that his company, Christie, provides a lot of those projectors for various folks.
And I think that's what's amazing about this community, is that you see stuff like that and you're like, oh, I know the person that does that little piece of work, or that kind of thing. Like we started this evening's conversation on Mike's knee, and how so much of the engineering and all that is all SolidWorks customers and all that from the I think Stryker, you said.
Yeah, Striker, yeah. I think they've been a very long-term, very early on SolidWorks customer, I believe.
And they're the ones that made the machine that built the knee.
Yeah, no, they produced the product. It would have been a SolidWorks design product, and they produced, obviously their 3D printed machine, the engineering behind it. But it's the whole engineering through, it's so just like from the medical devices right to like people like Disney, the astonishment of creativity with engineering. And we all go to the world and we all sit next to people we don't know, and it's like, the stories they tell, whether it's some guy from Lockheed Martin or, from Disney or, from some small engineering firm who's producing certain things. I think we all look at people around us and, products. And it's a great community to be around. And you can,
sure.
No matter who you talk to, no matter who you talk to, you think, gee, I'm sitting here, I'll just shut up because I feel I'm the stupid one here.
This village has an idiot and it looks like it's me.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorite conversations, I think it was in World, maybe 2019. It was when it was the first year of the Hive and they had that like Lego table. And I sat there about half an hour chatting with the guys, building with Lego, and a fella joined me and we were sitting there building with Lego and we were talking about our favorite sets and favorite techniques. We were just talking about Lego while we were both just building with Lego. We were chatting for about 20 minutes or so before he said, "Oh, okay, I've got to go to a session." And that's where I turned around, shook his hand. "Thank you very much." I looked down at his badge. He was an engineer from SpaceX. Not once did we talk about what we do.
Nope.
But we were just hanging out, just chatting about the things that we love. And you get thrown into a world of so many different people from different backgrounds. It's really fun to see what everybody's doing.
Well, it's interesting that Eric's saying his first world was 2003. He's talking about multi-bodies. Well, that kind of relates back to current day because who is the CEO and who is responsible for multi-bodies?
Yeah.
But Manesh.
Yeah.
So once again, he brings that up now. So it's this whole circle where again we've all had journeys, but it's just it's those moments. It's those discussions that you have at all hours of the night and day. The conversation we're having earlier about Jonny and Dallas in 2019, and Josh Mayers and I was having a discussion the other day, and he was talking about some of the stuff when he was working with Furno. I said, well, that was a discussion that we had in the bar about 1 o'clock in the morning on in the sports bar on that 90s, and we were using Furno product, and he's going, that's a pretty astonishing memory. I said, well, I'm pretty good when I'm drinking, talking engineering. I tend to take things in pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean,
like that episode of WKRP where Johnny Fever gets faster in his reaction time the drunker he gets.
The drinking test.
Yeah.
Thanks for the lid, Art.
Yeah, I mean, like, whenever I'm talking about like RVs and that kind of stuff, there's about 2 or 3 guys that have their own RVs, and most of them have built their own. And whenever we get into conversations of that, I send them images of Tracker and be like, I know the guy that models and designs a lot of the stuff or works for this company. You should check out the stuff that they do.
I've been around that industry a little while.
That's how you find out how linked we all are, because it's like, our adjustable bed came from a place in Missouri that uses SolidWorks. That I look at these things, it's like, well, which one should we get? Which one should we get? And it's like, oh, these guys are right down here in Joplin, and I know the user group leader. He works there.
Yeah, I'm in a unique situation where because I work for a bureau service, and we get hundreds of people uploading files to our platform. 90% of them is faceless. They upload their files, check out online, things go through the print queue and go out. But like, my job is to take every customer's order, look at it in Magix and kind of orientate it and look at the files. And it's very easy to see what's designed in SOLIDWORKS or any kind of parametric design software. And it's always interesting because you sometimes you upload files, they're not really matching where they are, but sometimes they saved in orientation. You kind of look at it and you're like, that's a cool looking drone. So I'll then go to the customer profile, I'll look at the email address or the company, and I'll go and look at the company. I'll be like, oh, that's really, really cool. Now and then we get some stuff for some of the film studios that'll come through, and you like load it up and you recognize that droid, and you're like, I know that droid. And you kind of like look into it and you're like, that company doesn't exist. What are you guys making? And then like 2-3 years down the line, you see it on a show and you're like, I made that.
That's so freaking cool. That is so freaking cool.
It is fun. I mean,
it was a significant choice that I made to make sure I found someone using a Striker product when I realised they were a SolidWorks a company. So you have faith, as I said earlier, you got to have faith in what you believe in and appreciate and understand the system.
I mean,
so it gives you a lot of confidence.
Like seeing Luke's perspective of his knee surgery versus Karen's. Whereas Luke's perspective is out of pure engineering curiosity of how is everything being made, how is everything being designed, kind of understanding the engineering side of it. And I'm sure you probably took some sort of interest in that as well, of how is everything being designed, made, manufactured.
Installed, like all the...
Well, you saw the X-rays that I posted, and the comment. You look at the machining. You zoom in on that X-ray, and apart from a little gap on the top part, there's a little thing. You look at the engineering of the fit that they've machined my bone, guided by a reference on a 3D scan, and they've machined this, and they've inserted up. They've machined the bone to suit the shape of the implant, and you look at this, and apparently they just press it in. It's not bonded or anything, it's just pressed in. The bone eventually grows to it. And you look at that X-ray and you tell me that that's not damn fine machining and engineering work, like both in regards to a design, but also the skill of the surgeon who has obviously got control over that guided arm. And you look at the engineering, that is like brilliant. And to be honest, as I said to you earlier, I'm doing really well. I know I could walk, but I had that confidence that on everything I heard and everything I knew about it, and the fact that they could tell me that I could wait there on day one after the surgery. And that was just like, well, the engineering, I saw the X-rays, this is perfect. I got up and I walked, and it was like the confidence. And as you say, you're going to now make the part about Karen. She's concerned about, as someone from outside looking in.
Yeah.
Well, I had no concerns. I was like, I'm 100% in, mate. I trust you. You're skilled.
Let's light this
candle. You do it.
Yep.
Like it's also amazing what your mind can do to overpower. I wouldn't say overpower, but like just take over your body and be like, it helps with the whole healing process, getting things better.
Oh yeah.
I think I do feel like Karen has a bit of extra comfort in knowing that Luke's confident, so she feels confident as well. It's understanding the engineering, the manufacturing, the machining, and all that stuff, and it kind of leads back in a way of going full circle of our conversation earlier of how you can be in an engineering position and your offsprings and that might not go into that. They might go into a medical field. I guarantee you at some point that knee surgeon probably didn't have any interest in engineering, but suddenly the technology exists and they start getting more involved with that engineering. It's the same thing with veterinary science. You know, all those kind of medical science and veterinary science is eventually like engineering is getting in there as well, kind of our world, and it makes sense to blend them all together.
I remember about 30 years ago, I was just, spending the day at home in my apartment, watching, public broadcasting, and they were showing a knee replacement surgery that they had filmed, in real time, everything. And when I saw the X-ray, Michael, that you had posted, it just took me back to that broadcast, seeing those angles, how they're fitted. And again, like I said, this was probably, I was living on South End. Yeah, so this was actually about 1989 or 1990, so closer to 35, 36 years ago. And, the jigs and the fixtures that the surgeon had to attach to the end of the knee to, cut the bone off at certain angles. And, he had like all stainless steel drills and reamers. He had, an early one of those oscillating saw multi-tools for slicing the end of the bone. And it was so fascinating. I called one of my friends, and we were sitting there talking on the phone, watching this thing together. It was just so impressive and amazing. And I said, not only does this guy have his medical license, I'm sure he has his journeyman machinist card as well, for the work he was doing. And yeah, it was impressive AF, as the kids say,
One of my teachers.
And again, that was
school,
35 years ago. So, the kind of stuff they're doing now has even got to be
way over.
Way more.
I'm going to leave you guys in charge for the stream for about 5 minutes. I need to go to the loo.
Okay. We'll behave.
Tell Lou we said hey.
Trust me, you can't be as naughty as us.
One of my teachers in school had his master's in mechanical engineering, and he stepped back and he went and got a medical degree so that he could create medical devices that could be used for that purpose.
Oh,
and
right on.
Crazy, because while I was in school, I was working at a place that did medical stuff for open heart surgery. And so they had the rib spreaders that were, machined out of stainless, all this really nice stuff. And I remember some of the stuff that I did, one of the things was a lap wrap. And when they would do laparoscopic surgery, they would run the camera inside so they could see, but they didn't want to have to do all the cleaning and all the stuff on the camera. So what they would do is they would put it in this sleeve. And so it was basically a clear tube that they would put the camera into, and it was attached to the sleeve so that they could just feed it in. The doctor could feed it in, and then they could pull it out and they could pitch this part, and the camera itself would stay clean.
Yeah, right on.
That was the kind of stuff that we did. And it was that was another one of those companies where a mechanical engineer went and got a medical degree and started designing tools to work with medical, surgeries.
All
and
right,
it just blows your mind. I mean, just the coolest stuff ever.
Well, I think we've seen over the years at World, especially some of the engineering, Hugh Herr and talking about going back.
Oh gosh, yeah,
that was one of my favorites.
And it
was
just astonishing. We've seen some of those great prosthetics, and obviously, which makes a huge difference to someone's life. Yeah, even mine. I mean, yeah, mine was an elective thing to do, and just to change, just to make sure that I continue my lifestyle, and the fact that that like the engineering behind it, the medical part's almost just as long as there's blood flowing around it, we can get it all to work and it doesn't reject it. Hey, we've got the mechanics. We've got the mechanics covered. You guys are right. You just cut him up and just stick it in here and it'll be fine. So
you just make sure that gangrene doesn't set in eventually.
It'll be fine.
I mean, like
keep that blood flowing and keep that oxygen to his lungs. He'll be right. There'll be no dramas at all.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I'm sure
as I say, it's got to be a.
I'm sure some of you guys could agree that 10 years ago, trying to create the kind of organic structure that bone can look like in SOLIDWORKS versus now where you got generative design and probably
and that
AI to be like, hey, take this scan and make something that's going to fit directly into it.
Look, I think 3D imaging in regards to as I say, mine was through a CAT scan, which was just really a series of 2D images right through, and they just convert the 2D images into a 3D, which is exactly what we do. They're called planes, and we join the planes together, and it's called loft and and boundary. But to be able to convert those in to have a 1-to-1 scale on a 3D image, certainly in regards to a medical type situation, I think is an astonishing thing. We all use 3D in various areas and them scans and things like that. But to have such an accurate data, the virtual twin, to be able to do what you like once you have that data, is an astonishing thing. And I think sometimes we just take it for granted. It's just it's just another daily thing that we do. But when you look at what other people are doing, and it's just like astonishing. You've obviously grown through that. We've all grown up through this. We've seen engineering develop. The 3D printing process from simple nylons to obviously the titaniums and the whole other range of products to be able to print things which obviously were extremely difficult to machine in the past has been an astonishing revolution in our lifetime, and really not that long ago, the acceleration has been astonishing. I'd like to think that AI will improve it, but I'm not 100% sure that that's the right tool, because I don't believe it has enough creative ability around. Certainly not at this stage, and it's going to take a lot more input from intelligent people, not a lot more input from dumb people on the internet.
I think it was one of the keynote.
I think
it was one of the keynote presentations at World where they were explaining that AI uses what exists to create, so everything is based off that. There's no.
It's derivative.
It looks like innovation, but it really, it's not. And I feel like, as long as we're driving the innovation, if AI is there to help, if you're building a complex assembly and you tell it fill every M3 hole with this kind of screw in the assembly, like you don't have to deal with it. Yeah. Those menial tasks of build this drawing with this BOM on it. As long as you've got the expertise to look at what AI has done and be like, this isn't right, or that will work. It can really be there to help save time.
100%. Yeah, 100%. AI is good for doing the boring stuff. You will never, ever be an ingenious human. And, we've seen it. You can't, we see people creating things which don't exist. The whole Disney, their Imagineering is based on creating things which does not exist.
Yeah.
This product does not exist.
The point that they use the AI for that, and that's purely learning and being like, here's this robot they can't stand. but it's fallen over thousands of times. It's basically what they did was they simulated this robot in an environment with AI to get to a point where it can stand up, and that's by having it fall over 1,000 times in a second and learning from that to then develop the intelligence. This is what it needs to do to stand up straight. It really does have its place, and I don't think it'll take over, but it'll definitely help.
As I say,
It'll never have that. I never would have thought of that thing where the guy is just thinking like completely left field, and like, what if we did this? Because AI is building on what is known, and this guy is thinking about something way out here.
I think
it has no imagination. It just has a very deep database and memory, and it can get as derivative as hell. But that's it. It's always going to be derivative. It might be some super obscure reference, but
I think that is
never anything original.
There's a very good live recorded example of this. There was Elon Musk was giving a tour of his facility to this YouTuber who does a lot of videos about space exploration and all that, and basically asked him, I think it was the kind of fuel that he was using for the top part of the booster, and he basically straight up asked, like, why don't you use that fuel for the rest of the rocket? And Elon kind of like, well, we don't use it, and he started to think, like, actually, why don't we use it?
Exactly.
And he ended up like flipping the script on everything, and like suddenly a year later they were using the fuel configuration that this guy suggested on their rockets, and the efficiency of the rockets became so much better because of this one person thought out of the box, presented to the right person who's like, actually, I don't know why we don't do that. Like, now that you've mentioned it, it makes so much sense.
Because AI is not going to do that left field stuff, where it's just like the crazy idea that ends up turning into something huge.
Well, I think it's the creative idea where you say, why don't we? And everyone goes, hang on, what? Don't we?
Well, we've never done it that way before until someone says,
hang on.
Like I tell you what,
it's just that,
At work, we found a way to speed up a lot of our manual production work, basically the way that we make builds, by changing the file format that we use. Instead of upgrading our hardware or upgrading our internet speed to increase how we download stuff from our server and upload it, we just changed the file format. And things went from 200 megabytes per build to 10 megabytes per build.
Oh, wow.
And
because it's more efficient.
We increased our efficiency disgustingly so well just by changing file format. And that was just someone being like, why don't we try that? Like, okay. And it worked. It's quite fascinating the way it works. It's like, for example, with SLS or MJF, when we print stuff, we don't print one at a time. We build in a 3D build. You got something like that. You can always put stuff inside it. It's all suspended in powder. So we got a 3-dimensional build plate.
Your 3D nesting.
Everything's all over the place. But the way it works is the way the software Magix works in terms of duplicating a file is that instead of having, say you got these two bottles, instead of having two individual STLs, which has the data of all the the point clouds on it, where it is, also where its orientation is in space, any kind of color information, and then you have this one, it has all that data as well. Basically what it does is imports this one, duplicates this one, but the only data that this one will have is its position. It references all of the other data from this one. So essentially, when you're bringing it in, you're only bringing in this one plus its duplicates, XYZ locations.
And where it's at.
And just by doing that, when you've got 400 parts in a build, you're actually importing one part. And it's...
So instead of the the total build file being 400 times as big as a single part. It's maybe 3 times as big because those other 399 are just a set of X, Y, and Z
They're
coordinates.
just location.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
The geometry is
maybe
completely
a
referenced
pointer
off the
linked back
parent.
to yeah.
It's just like all it came from was us getting access to the API of the software, understanding how the software reads files, and being like, let's use this format. Genius.
And not to be that guy, but man, that is a good slogan for DS. What if?
I'm going to message Manish.
I mean, because that's what they have. I mean, they have the what if, and it's like, I don't think you realize how brilliant that is.
Yeah, what if you try this? Okay.
Well, yeah, they use the imagine for the same thing, but the what if is much better. Like, or
Yeah.
why not?
I mean, to be honest, I did a whole road trip of Texas, and every time I went to a place that was disgustingly big or oversized or ridiculous, I was just like, but why?
Yeah,
And the answer is
you just got to
because.
step back and say, why? What if?
Yeah, I think what if is great. But
Well, and that
Like
was
George
their
Bell.
goal. I mean, that was their thing for the longest time.
If we, yeah, that's
If
it.
we.
There's
If we.
Yep.
if we.
I tell you what, my cup is getting a little empty. So what if we get some random wheel to decide what my next drink is?
Spin.
Like, I'll
Bust
be
a
honest,
deal, spin the wheel.
well, we were discussing. I should have actually made this a bottle that span, because then it'll be spin that bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
But we'll still spin
Next
that
time.
wheel. I
For
hope it's
101.
something different.
Come on, American Eagle Rare.
You know
Come
what?
on.
I'm just going to drink the Eagle Ray.
Yeah. Because it sounds
Because
good.
red is the color of fire, and that's saying fire. So, yeah, you're close.
So
An eagle, well, that's the symbol of America. So
I've
There
got
you
a
go.
bottle there of Whistle Pig. I don't know
Oh.
if you've ever been told the story of Matt Clegg and his Whistle Pig.
I'll have that.
it's like that scene in Smokey and the Bandit. I'm going to need a fast car.
You know what's
Faster
interesting
than
is that Eagle
Still
Rare is
faster
very
than
hard
that.
to get in the States. But in the UK, I can go to my local grocery store and buy it. It's just on the shelf.
There's whole shelves of it.
Literally. But Whistle Pig, Mike, do you know what's the pub called across from the Holiday Inn?
The Copper House.
Yeah,
or
I don't know if you've been to the Copper House.
Maybe once or twice.
So we come back from an evening in Waltham downtown and get dropped off at the hotel, and we're like, let's go across the road to the pub. They're still open. We sit down at the bar. They're like, you can see they're getting ready to close. So we're like, cool, we'll have one quick drink. So we all order our drink, and Matt Clegg orders a double of Whistle Pig. It's like, oh, they've got Whistle Pig. I'm going to have some of that. I'm going to get a double of that. So the lady graciously pours it out into a glass, serves all our drinks, hands him the glass, and asks him, by the way, do you know how much this costs? We're like, okay, this is scary.
Yeah.
You've poured it out already, so clearly we're paying for it. And she's
You're
like,
committed.
"Oh, it's $90. And we're like, oh, wow, that's quite pricey. And she's like, per shot.
Yeah. That's a 180 right there.
We looked at each other and we're like, a bottle of this costs $100, so they're overcharging to hell.
Oh, yeah.
But we're like,
Pure
okay, cool. We like,
profit.
looked at each other. Matt was like, I'm going to expense this one and I'll explain it. And we all looked at him and we were like, I need to try this $180 whiskey that you've just ordered. So all of us gave it a little try, and that's where I came across a bottle of Whistle Pig for about 70, 80 pounds. I was like, I'm going to get some of that.
And as I understand it, I think there's an even more expensive grade of whistle pig
Yes.
that runs like about 300 a bottle or
I've got
something.
the 10-year, I think. Yeah, I've got 10-year. I think it was the 25-year that he had.
Oh, yeah.
So what you're saying is next time we're in Waltham together, we should find Matt Clegg and make sure that we end up in the copper house drinking Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig.
Is that how I understand this conversation?
That's how I interpret it.
Even if at World, if Matt's like, let me get you guys a drink. Look for your top shelves.
Do a quick head tilt and scan.
Oh, you don't have Whistle Pig? Give me a Crown XR.
See, Johnny's just chimed in the chat. Yes, we're still going. Still having epic conversations. I think he's doing one of them late night feedings.
Dad duty. He's on dad duty.
Daddy duty. Yeah. Are you looking forward to World this year, Eric?
I think so. I think so.
We were discussing it earlier. The special event is in an epic location. The
yes,
speakers
definitely.
are amazing.
Yeah, I'm super psyched for that, and because I know that's the special event night is always so chaotic anyways, that I'm planning on I'm staying an extra day and a half after that. I'm going to go back to the Space Center to just
take it all in.
Take it all in, yeah.
Last year.
I don't know whether on the night. I was going to say I don't know whether on the night they're going to actually take you out to the control center or back to the to where the Saturn rocket is and things like that. It'd be interesting to see that because it really is if they run the full tour, it's just a jaw opening.
Oh, for sure.
Reliving my childhood and all that type thing.
Oh, same here.
I was there in it was the first year in Nashville where my flight got slightly delayed and I missed my connecting flight out of Houston. I had a full day there, and so I spent the day down.
I remember that. Yeah.
Like
the great toilet incident of 2019.
I find it fascinating.
That's widely referred to.
Last year we went to the Houston Space Center, and this was obviously after World in Dallas, and we did the whole road trip, and we did it. It was amazing. We did every tour possible. We went to the control room. We did the tour of the training center. We did Rocket Park and the whole museum. I was blown away. This was amazing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, like when it came to the planning for World this year, I was just like, hosted at the Space Center. Space Center's an amazing venue. So I'm glad they've decided to actually go for it now. It'll be interesting to see how they actually pull it off, put it together. But this year after World, we went to Florida, Orlando, and me and Sarah drove out to Cape Canaveral, and we got to see that side of the Space Center.
All right, on.
One thing I kind of noticed is that the one in Florida felt more like a theme park than a museum. Like, you got to the Saturn V room and it was just this big, like, you had to watch a pre-show kind of thing before you go in, and you actually look around, and it, the actual, like, main NASA area just felt like a theme park. We had these cafeterias and all these what looked like buildings with rides in them that you went to go and look at. When we had a look at the space shuttle that they've got there, you kind of, again, you go in this pre-show thing and then it does this big reveal and there's the thing. Whereas the Space Center in Houston has none of that. They're like, this is the control room. You sit in the
Here it
original
is.
one and be like, don't touch a thing. This is original. You got a
Yes,
corner
those
there
are
for
real
selfies, and that's
ashtrays.
it. But the control room at Houston, they're like the seats vibrate and there's lights and things go off and all that stuff. It feels like a ride versus a museum.
Oh wow!
So I think the Houston one, it has more of that historical. It's focusing on just originality. You know, you go into the Saturn V room, all you see is a Saturn V. There's no like stuff all around of go through this exhibit to see that, or read this, or sit in this pod to experience this, or go sit at this cafeteria. It's a warehouse with a big rocket. That's it.
The Saturn V rocket, just to just walk into that building and just
gosh,
you just walk in and just like you just look and just stare, and it's like, how do you take all that in one in?
Yeah.
You know, sitting in the back with the five nozzles coming out the back end. It's like, really? That's just...
You've seen pictures of it. You've seen kind of somewhat references to it. You see the outside of that warehouse, and that warehouse is like, that's pretty big, but it's not that big. But then you walk in, and you're like, this is a lot bigger inside than it is outside. Like, all it is just one little door that you walk through, and it's just, it's there. And, yeah, that experience of walking in was just second to none. A few years ago,
So for Eric...
I went to
I was going to
Seattle.
say, for Eric and I, it's our whole life. It's our end-to-end of our space journeys.
Like,
we were both children of the Apollo era.
Todd showed up a couple weeks early, but he.
Like I always found that the space shuttle program was always very fascinating, and first time I got to kind of experience that was in Seattle at the Airspace Museum that you've got there. Went to visit that, and while I was there, they had an Apollo 11 display where they had a piece of one.
That's
of the
right, because that was 2019. So that's when we had
the 50 year,
the
60
the Columbia, the 50. Yeah, that was the 50th anniversary. We had Columbia, the Apollo 11 command module on display there.
So I got to see the command module, which is like a big chunk of metal, but it's quite small. But I think for me, what was amazing was standing next to a replica of the engine, just of the Saturn V engine.
Those aren't
replicas,
replicas,
and then you
Kirby.
look down at the picture.
Those are real.
Those are actual ones.
And you look at the picture and be like, this is this little piece on a rocket that's this big, and you're looking at this big thing. You're like, you're trying to fathom that scale. You don't
You're just
understand
this tiny little bit on top.
and then you see it. But for me, at the
you're picturing that Airfix or Revell kit that you had as a child, and then you're like, oh, that's what that is. But yeah, Kirby, that full size engine there is an actual engine that had been fired. They discovered a vibration in it, and so it was pulled out of the Saturn V that was scheduled for Apollo 16 and replaced. So that's the only flight certified engine that still exists.
Yeah, I know they had two. They had one that did fly, which was mostly demolished.
Yeah, because that was recovered by Bezos from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean.
But yeah, it was
expeditions.
But for me, being a big fan of the space shuttle program, and just I always loved the idea of this space rocket that went up, all the pieces fell apart, went up, did its thing. The back of it opened, and it did built the space center, and then landed back. As an aviation nerd, that's so fucking cool.
Well, for sure.
Where you have to go, and I've been to both the Houston Center and the Seattle, then you have to.
That's right. When you were out
your way to touring a couple of years, yes. Then you have to make your way to Virginia or through DC and go out to the Dulles Air Base.
Yeah,
it has the single best collection of space and aircraft that I have ever seen.
Yeah. I mean,
It
like,
was the most. You walk into that place and you think, this place looks, big, and then you realize the size of the aircraft inside that building. Like the first thing you see is a Blackbird SR 11, SR 35. That's the first, and then you realize that it's surrounded by 1,000 other planes. And you realize you get down to floor level, how big that is. You work out how big this single building is. It is the most astonishing. It's worth the trip any day. If you're next time you're in Waltham, fly down to DC. It's 2 hour for an hour flight. You go from DC out, go out to Jewel.
Huge Varhazy Center.
I mean, like at the Houston Center, they've got the original 747 that they used to mount the shuttle on top of it. The shuttle that's mounted on top is a replica, but the 747 is the original. At Seattle, there's that like walk-through thing that you can do. It's like a training type of thing.
Yeah, and that was the actual training module that came from Houston. When Gemma was still younger and doing summer day camps. The week that she was at the Museum of Flight for a day camp, that was the week that the shuttle trainer was delivered in one of the big Super Guppy airplanes.
Yeah.
The ones with the nose that folds fully up and looks like a skateboard that's swallowed, a tanker truck on top.
Yeah. I mean,
and her camp group, they actually got to go up inside the Super Guppy and tour the interior of it.
I mean, when we did the Cape Canaveral tour, we knew we were going to go see a space shuttle, but we didn't expect the way it does. I've actually got the reveal. I actually need to drop it on this screen for everybody to see.
The other impressive museum is
It's this.
National Museum of the Air Force.
Yeah, you're like in a 3D kind of room with projections and that stuff, and then that's Atlantis behind the like mesh type of projection thing. And it suddenly appears, and then slowly the thing lifts up, and then you go and get pictures of the Atlantis. It was just so good. That was probably the best part of the Cape Canaveral tour, of seeing an original space shuttle. So,
here's a fun Eric trivia fact. The tile shuttles were actually manufactured just outside of Waterville, Ohio, where I grew up. In fact, I remember as a kid, we took a field trip to the plant, and they were showing us how the tiles worked and everything, and how they could heat it up glowing red hot. And you could pick it up in your hand, even though it's going red hot, because it's just shedding heat so incredibly quickly.
I mean, like,
and so I actually volunteered to pick it up, and I was just my hand was trembling as I reached in and everything, and it was like, oh, it's not hot at all. It was pretty freaking cool for. In the mid-1970s. So I was probably 12 or 13 at the time, maybe 14.
Yeah. I mean, like, museums, I'll be, honest, none of those kind of museums exist in South Africa. Like, growing up, I was always fascinated by this stuff, but you can never go to any decent, plane museums or space museums. They don't exist. And traveling to the States, I've got that unique opportunity that SOLIDWORKS allows me to go to all these different cities where I can see this stuff, and I can go and look at just stuff that's always fascinated me. And even here in the UK, I can go to some of the war museums, which, Eric, you've been to a few of them.
I've only been to the one that was, right by my hotel when I was out for you. I want to make it out to Duxford and a few other sites. I was at the original.
Yeah, me and a friend of mine, we went to Duxford for an air show and all that. And they've got like an original Concorde that still has the nose that moves up and down. And you go into the US military air side of things, and they've got a B-52 bomber in the hangar and all sorts of just insane stuff. And you look at it and you're like, this stuff is insane. And then you go outside and they're flying Lancaster bombers and Spitfires for displays.
That is so
an incredible
cool.
experience. Like you just get none of that in South Africa.
Couple weeks ago, I was telling Todd and Cam this a few weeks ago, but I spent a week, staying up late watching all those old blockbuster World War II movies from like the 60s and early 70s. And so one night I watched, the Battle of Britain, and again, just seeing all those Spitfires and Hawker Hurricanes and that, and knowing that those planes were only about like 30 some years old at the time the movie was filmed and such. And I watched Dam Busters recently, with the Lancasters and Barnes Wallace bouncing bomb and everything. Just too cool, too freaking cool.
Yeah, some cool old planes in that. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
And to think they would engineer and design all of that stuff by paper.
Paper and pencil, slide rules.
I feel like I was one of the last generations, especially in my universities, where we were taught. I mean, like during high school, but my high school was purely academic. They had no creative or engineering. So I went to school for high school, and then I went to a night college afterwards to learn about engineering and drawing or drafting, basically. I studied
Hand drafting.
Sorry?
Oh, I was just saying, doing the hand drafting and stuff.
Yeah, so like, I remember my first 2 weeks, I was like, what the fuck is all this? I couldn't understand what... It didn't click. It didn't make sense. And I remember there was this moment where suddenly it just snapped. And it all made sense of like all the rulers and everything coming together to make how to take a drawing on a piece of paper and convert it to what I need to draw out. And I loved just the technicality of it, the precision of it. It was amazing. Like you had your scale ruler to do everything, and you had your different your what was it, your 60-30 to be able to do your perspective drawings and all that stuff. And it was so much fun getting your slide ruler up and down, just that perfection of it.
All your different templates, and
yeah,
I just sent
your circle stencils and all that.
The other day I sent them John Matrician and Todd a link to like a 50th or 60th anniversary Pentel mechanical pencil set. It goes for about like $110 or something, but it's just some beautiful, Pentel mechanical drafting pencils.
Yeah, I had a collection of different.
I think that might be, maybe a Christmas present to myself or something.
Like we used to call them clutch pencils. They're all like had the
the 2 millimeter lead.
Yeah, we had. I had like a collection of 3 different leads and different pencils for that, and just I enjoyed all of that.
And your Ames lettering guide.
Yeah, and then like that was during high school. I did that at night school, kind of as an extracurricular kind of thing. And that led me into product design. And the first 6 months of product design first 6 months was engineering drawing, and then the second 6 months was CAD. So in order for you to understand CAD and drawings of CAD, you had to do all the drawings. And like the lecturers in that really didn't give a shit. They were just like, here's a textbook, this is how you do it. whatever.
Oh, God.
I was flying through it. I was like, I've done this before. This is amazing. I did that, moved to CAD, did amazing at it. But it was my first time, like, because I had that previous knowledge, doing engineering drawings with CAD made so much sense. And I think maybe it was one more year after me they had engineering drawing, and after that they cut it from the course. They're like, everything's all digital now. You don't need to know how to work with your rulers and all that stuff. And I remember I had a little 125 motorbike that I used to ride to my night school. And I found a way to wedge my A3 folder bag, which had my drawing board in between my backpack on my motorbike, and I'd ride my motorbike. But because there was this big board behind me, it was like a big kite, so I'd like fly every time I'd like accelerate too fast, or like a wind would catch me. I'd just be like, kind of thing.
Right on.
It was good fun. Like, I really enjoyed that. It's quite fascinating. Like, I would do my classes and then kind of peek my nose in at the classes across the hall from me. And they were all at computers. They were all using like AutoCAD, and they were doing everything there. I was like, oh, I want to move to computers. I want to go to that side of things. And yeah, like, ended up in doing SolidWorks. And
I totally remember that, like looking over and being like, I gotta get on the computer as soon as possible.
Yeah.
This is just driving me nuts. It's like, you know, it was fun being on the board, but as soon as I saw the computer, I was just like, oh God, AutoCAD release 12.
2.52B for me on an orange 12-inch AMDEC monitor. So even though all our layers had colors on that orange monochrome display, the first time I saw AutoCAD on a color monitor, it was like, holy shit, this is amazing, you know? This is just beyond amazing, you know? And that was on an IBM PS2 machine on campus at Bowling Green State University. So this would have been about 1987.
Yep.
Just, yeah, you know, that I think it was either EGA or VGA. I can't remember which one.
Back then it'd probably be EGA.
Yeah, it would have been, because VGA was a few years later, and then there was, you know, everything just
VGA,
took off from there.
SVGA, blah blah blah.
SVGA, yeah.
yeah, like,
XGA and all those. Yeah.
Raise your hand if
only
you're
they
old.
would settle on one format.
USB-C. That's where
Only
we go.
everything was only compatible with each other.
It's fascinating. I was this close to doing architecture instead. You know, one of them guys. Basically, I applied for university. I had zero plans to go to university, by the way. I'll tell you the truth. Sarah is the reason why I went to university. Okay, we lived in a town called Benoni, which was just outside of Johannesburg, and Sarah applied and got accepted to a University of Pretoria, which was about 40 miles drive away. And I was like, I want to be close to my girlfriend. Like, we had been dating for like a year and a half at this point. I was like, I want to be close to my girlfriend. So I got hold of the counselor, the careers counselor at my school. I was like, I have no clue what I want to do. I like being creative. I've done these night schools of engineering drawing and all that kind of stuff. I want to try and get into that. So he presented me with two courses at a university, also in Pretoria, but on the other side of Pretoria. It's called the Tshwane University of Technology, it was kind of like, it was below Pretoria University. It was like that. If you couldn't get into Pretoria University, you went to TUT. Or TUT.
Okay.
TUT, as they called it. Yeah, TUT. So I applied for architecture, and my second choice was industrial design. And I went for my interviews, and I was fascinated by architecture and all that. That's what I really wanted to do. But I sat down with, his name was Craig Davies. I sat down with him, and we sat in a room. There was a couple of computers, a couple of other bits and bobs. He said, look around this room right now. And I also want, when you get home, look around your house. Everything in your house has been designed by an industrial designer or some sort of product designer. This is what we do. You look at your washing machine, you look at the PC cases, you look at your phone. Everything was designed.
Your Walkman, your Discman.
Everything was designed by an industrial designer. I was hooked. I was like, this is amazing.
Old American.
It's that idea of SOLIDWORKS is everywhere. It's just like everything has been designed by someone. I want to be involved. So I didn't get accepted into architecture because my English score wasn't good enough, even though my first language is English. However it goes. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. I didn't get in university. And then about 2 months later, I got an email from Craig saying, hey, portfolios are due next week. If you can submit yours, we're still accepting people. I said, I got a letter from the university saying that my marks weren't good enough. It said, they're still good enough for us. Apply. So I spent the next week just putting together drawings. And these were engineering drawings, freehand drawings, like pastel drawings and all that stuff. Submitted it, got accepted into the course, and rest is from there. Like, I was
right on.
And look, you end up hanging around with us.
I know, right? Like, what?
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
What was that?
How the mighty have fallen.
That was 2009, 2008, I think that was, and I graduated in 2014 and haven't done industrial design since. But it did put me where I needed to be. It was that I was taught all the design skills. I was introduced to 3D printing. I was introduced to SOLIDWORKS. And I saw SOLIDWORKS as a tool to design whatever I want, and 3D printing as a tool I can do whatever I want. And I did that for a couple of years. It was fantastic. I absolutely love it. I do it now and then. I make whatever I want. I need to make a mount for one of my Lego, like that one there. There's a custom 3D printed mount to put in there using SOLIDWORKS and 3D printers. But I decided 3D printing, I want to make a career out of it. I want to be involved in it. That's what I've been doing.
That's fantastic.
I think I said that in like 93 or 94.
Yeah, you find that really cool thing. You're like, I want to do this. Like, it's fascinating. Like the 3D printing level that I'm working with now, where people ask me, what do you do? And I no longer say I work in 3D printing. I work in manufacturing. We're producing 10 to 12,000 parts a day using 3D printers. And, you speak to someone in manufacturing, they're like, oh, those are tiny numbers. But you speak to someone that works with 3D printers, that's
huge numbers.
Yeah, their eyes get bigger than saucers. I can.
Yeah, like, how do you do that? It's just... It's what we do. I mean,
this isn't your father's maker bot.
No, it's not. We're running 7 days a week.
I presume
we're printing 24/7.
I can produce a product a day.
So
with my printer.
Yeah.
So I can print one packer a day overnight for the side of a vehicle, for a Starlink mount on my vehicle. It's only one a day.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we can chat afterwards, and I can get those numbers increased.
I have a feeling that might be the case.
Yeah, literally today we got a new printer delivered. January 5th, we've got two guys coming in to install 2 new machines. I love it. Like, I really do enjoy what I do. Like, I get to see, while I'm not designing every day. I'm getting to see so many different design processes, and just I get to look at people's models, and I feel like I learn so much from what people have designed more than if I were to experiment. I always learned SOLIDWORKS by watching people's time lapses. I learned SOLIDWORKS by, I finished my CAD. We'd have 2 weeks to create our CAD models for our product design course or product design projects. 2 weeks to work on our CAD models. I'll do my CAD models in 3 days. I'll then go into the university studio where all the other people are struggling, and I'll sit down with them and be like, what are you trying to build? And they'll show me their sketches and their drawings. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's figure this out together. And I would help them out for the next 2 days to make their model. I'll then sit down with the next person and be like, let's figure this out. And through that, I learned so much on how to do unique stuff. I was basically doing the same project 5 or 6 different times.
All right. Oh.
I was modeling different things because I was helping other people, and I learned so much by doing that.
I'll be right back myself. See.
I think that's a good point to probably will be my last one.
Well, it's only what? 2 o'clock in the morning there?
Yeah, it's 2:10. I've got a birthday party to go to tonight. So we'll play one last game of what is Kirby drinking?
Kirby drinking.
I hope it's something good. You know what? I'll take that. Jack Daniel's single barrel.
There you go.
Everyone a winner.
That's a good one to have. I don't know if you know the story of Single Barrel Select and how this is bottled. So if we ever go back to Tennessee, Nashville,
maybe.
That's good. Head your way to Jack Daniel's because it's an amazing facility. And what I learned while I was there, the past 2 years that we've been there, is that the way Jack Daniel's works is that they'll put all their barrels in a barrel house, let it sit there for 5 years. End of 5 years, they'll kind of measure them out and test them out. If they are within a certain range in their, I think it's what do they call it? The proof. If it's within a certain range, they'll pull those barrels. They'll then blend them together to make the original Jack Daniel's flavor. If it's higher than that, they'll then end up pulling that barrel to a side and do single barrel select. So they'll then take that single barrel and they'll pour it out and they'll bottle it out just for that specific barrel. So this specific...
And what's the volume of these barrels, Kirby?
I think you can get between 30 to 50 bottles out of a barrel.
Okay. So it's a traditional barrel like you'd see in like an old Western movie or something. I'm thinking like that they're like giant barrels, or the term barrel is a euphemism for some giant industrial cask.
No, it's wood-made barrels.
Okay.
So if it's above a certain proof, they'll then bottle and pour that specific one. But they'll take that one barrel, load it into their machine, and then they'll bottle that specific barrel. So every bottle of single barrel select, when you get the full bottles, on the actual neck, it'll tell you the exact barrel's serial number. So if you ever go to different bars, chances are you're going to taste a different barrel, which means it's going to taste slightly different. And then you get your single barrel select high proof, which is, if it's higher than a single barrel select proof, they'll then have this really potent stuff. I've still got a bottle that I got from about 3 years ago. It's like drinking gasoline. It is violent.
Potent.
It is like 70%. It is rough.
It's like, hey, that's an open flame. Get
Yeah.
away from me.
Yeah, it's so brutal,
It's awesome.
but it's good. I do enjoy it. So that's what they do. And what some like specific bars will do is a bar you can buy, I think it's about $10,000. You can buy a barrel. When you buy that barrel, they will then bottle that barrel into a bunch of single barrel selects. So you'll get X amount of bottles from that. You also get the lid sent to you, engraved as well, and your name gets put on the wall. So some bars will buy an entire barrel and then they'll stock that across their bars around the country. So yeah, single barrel select. Almost every bottle will taste slightly different.
And the bottle that you were holding up a moment ago, is that the standard size bottle that they use for that single barrel select, or is it the traditional Jack Daniel's bottle?
So the bottle looks exactly the same, probably about 5 times bigger. This is
okay.
This comes from my Jack Daniel's advent calendar.
Your advent calendar, okay.
Yeah, so I've been like picking away at that plus some extra bottles that I've got.
Gotcha. So a single barrel select comes in a traditional size Jack Daniel's bottle.
Yes. Okay. It's exactly the same kind of like shape and look.
Okay.
So, yeah, every now and then, if I'm at a bar and I see they've got it on the shelf, I'll be like, give me a shot of that. I want to have a little taste of it, a little tipple of it.
I want to sample yours. We have Elijah Craig right next door in Iowa. And so one of our local breweries will buy the empty barrels and they'll use those for barrel aging their beer.
Oh, whoa, wow.
And so they'll brew the beer and then they put it in the barrels that had Elijah Craig. And then they'll let that sit in the barrel for a year or so. And then they'll pour that out. And that'll end up being, probably about 12%. But it definitely takes on a different flavor.
So, like, the main difference between, like, your American or bourbon whiskey versus your malts, your Irish and your Scottish whiskey, your Scotch. Bourbon is always fermented, or it sits in virgin barrels that have never been used. And about 90% of Jack Daniel's barrels get sold off to wineries, breweries, and other whiskey makers in Scotland and Ireland for them to then ferment their or produce their whiskies within. So that's the main difference between your bourbons and your other whiskies, is that bourbon is always a virgin barrel. That's why it's a lot more smoky, it's a lot more peaty versus your other whiskies.
And will these barrels, once, and I guess this question's for you, Todd. So the brewery in your area takes these barrels that have been used to produce the whiskey. They do their beer in it. Is that barrel now used again, or has it had all its essence extracted for all intents and purposes?
I think it's the latter. I think that they're done with it after that first batch. And the one that I go to, they do a lot with Elijah Craig because it's next door in Iowa, but they've also done a couple other, whiskeys, or bourbons or, whatever, but they'll be, and they've done tequila before too, where it's like, this was aged in tequila barrels. This was aged in these barrels.
Oh, okay.
And so it's always something funky, but they pretty much brew the beer and then they just pump it into this barrel and they let it sit for a year or more.
Yeah, like the way it works with whiskey, especially Jack Daniel's, it sits in a barrel for a minimum of 5 years. The barrel houses that they produce they're literally just big iron warehouses. There's no air conditioning or climate control. So they use the seasons to mature the whiskey. And essentially, during the summer, the wood expands, so all the whiskey goes into the wood. And then during the the winter months, it contracts and it pushes it back out. And kind of that's how you get the woody taste. There's a specific type of Jack Daniels that they produce called the Jack Daniels Sinatra blend, which I've got a bottle. Haven't touched it yet. Don't know if I'm going to at some point. But the main difference between a Jack Daniels regular, all the stuff that they do versus Sinatra, is once they've produced the barrels, what normally happens is they toast the inside, so they make it like charcoal. So they burn the inside of the barrel, and that gives you that charcoaly wood taste. With the Sinatra barrels, they do that, and then they route the inside of the barrels. So there's little like slots of raw wood as well as charcoal wood. Yeah, so you get raw wood versus and charcoal wood. It's really, really interesting to see how they do that.
Wow.
And that's how you get your different tastes between those. And if you ever do the Jack Daniels tour, if you ever end up back at Jack Daniels, they do a thing called the Angel Flight Tour, which is your regular tour around the main facility. But you end off in the barrel house where you get to taste all the different whiskies, including the Frank Sinatra whiskey.
Good to know.
I'll try
Added to the list.
Making notes. Tour of if we
Memo
somehow
to
manage
Todd.
back at Nashville. If we somehow manage back ourselves back at Nashville, you think?
Yeah, somehow. I don't know how, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe. Yeah, I'll show you this. We'll open that in a new tab. Will it allow me to? There we go. I'll pop that there. I'll then switch to here. So I'm trying to manage everything at the same time. So, as you can see,
Oh, okay.
so
That's
those
exactly
two on
what
the
I
left
pictured.
are your regular barrels. That's the barrel before it's toasted. That's the barrel. It gets toasted, and then the lines get cut in for the Frank Sinatra bottle.
Sinatra.
There was another picture somewhere. Not here. Yeah. That exposes it to charcoal wood as well as raw wood at the same time.
Okay. Interesting.
That's your main difference for your Sinatra Select.
Wow.
And the whole relationship between Jack Daniels and Sinatra is that every time Frank Sinatra went out to perform, the one request he always had for his dressing room was a bottle of Jack Daniels. That's all he ever wanted. And then from there, they realized he really liked the stuff. They worked with him to make his own blend.
Capitalize on this.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice.
Meanwhile,
Work if you
Michael
can get it.
Anthony's like, "Hey, wait a minute! They had a whole bass guitar designed like a bottle."
So yeah, if you ever do the tour of the facility, what I found super fascinating is that the county that Jack Daniels based in Lynchburg is a dry county.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So you can't actually buy alcohol there, except in the White Rabbit, which is the little Jack Daniels gift store. And that's where you're allowed to buy specific whiskey, but you can't buy your regular number 7 Jack Daniels. You can only buy the either special blends or your single barrels or your Sinatra, that stuff. And
Otherwise, all the locals would be swinging by the
Yeah.
museum store like all day, every day.
exactly. And then every morning the prices are determined by the tax rates of that day. So today the prices could be X amount. Tomorrow it's different. It changes every day.
Gosh. My goodness.
So Hopefully,
Interesting way to run a taxation system.
hopefully we'll get there one day.
Hopefully.
Wink, wink.
We get back to
Know what I mean?
Nashville.
Know what I mean?
But you know what? I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys. And I think Johnny said it was 42 days.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was thinking earlier. It's just about 6 weeks now.
Johnny mentioned
so
that the 3D Experience World page, there's a countdown clock.
Yeah, well, it can only be 4 weeks. It's early this year, obviously the first week in February.
February.
So we're not hanging around very long.
I tell you what, that the earlier date is throwing me off because it's usually later in the year or later in Feb. So when usually the conversations that we're having now for World is in January. We're having it in December. I'm finding it very hard to say World is next year. I'm always being like, oh, we're going to World this year.
Yeah, although it's been early before. I mean, I remember flying out in late January. There's certainly San Antonio was actually the end of January, going into February that first week. So it's not unique. And it was only the last 4 or 5 years where it's always corresponded with Super Bowl.
Super Bowl or Valentine's Day or my birthday,
It's always Eric's birthday somewhere along those lines. Well, yeah.
It's my birthday somewhere in the world.
But yeah, no, I think that the earlier part of the year, earlier part of February.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I think I'm glad we're not doing it like an outdoor event. Hopefully it's mostly indoor.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen a lot what we're doing with. I just saw a picture of people with red backpacks. I don't know if you know what the plan for the makerspace is this year or next year. So it was a conversation that I had with Chenlu and all that, being like, everybody gets their free backpack. You know, you put all your stuff in the backpack.
Oh, you had also suggested this for one of the Slug Me projects. Isn't it like a bling your backpack type project?
Yeah. And you put your backpack and you sit there and you're like, which red backpack is mine? So next year at the Makerspace, the plan is to make various different ways that you can customize your backpack, make it unique, make it yours.
Make it identifiable.
Yes. So like there's leather bag tags that you can do. There's these little like what they call gibbets, which are like almost like pin badges that you can attach to it that are all unique, 3D printed. There's so much that you can do to try and customize your backpack. Through that, I've seen what the backpack design is this year. Next year, pretty cool. But yeah, there's going to be ways that you can take your bag to the makerspace and add something to make it your own, make it unique.
Pimp my ride, pimp my backpack.
Exactly, because like,
what's the name? You need to have a laser engraver there. Print your name on your backpack.
Well, we're going to have 3D printers, so if you bring a laptop with SolidWorks, you can model your own little tag thingy, and we can print it and pop it on your bag.
I wonder if I could design that in the software.
I know. We're figuring out the details of that, but for now we're kind of producing some like standard kind of ones that you can just take and make yourself.
Take it go.
Yeah, and then we're gonna closer to the event, we'll focus more on creating your custom, unique ones that are specific to you. But
right on.
Yeah, it's a fun way. Like we've all been there, where you've put your bag in a pile and you got to like figure out which one is yours.
Okay, I think this one's mine because I always bring the 2 zippers right to the center.
Yeah, you start opening up and you're like, that's not my business cards. And you're like, oh, that's not my water bottle. So, yeah, a fun way to customize the backpack that you get, which I think it's a different
Oh yeah.
a different way to spend your free time, I would say.
For sure.
Free time. Free time. I like the way I like the way you think that happens.
What is this
Free
free
time.
time that you speak of?
I tell you what, looking at my schedule
My
for
sweet
World,
summer child.
the content that we've got to create, like between what we've planned on top of what my wife has planned in terms of content, whatever dances we've got to do when we got to do it to be trendy for TikTok. There's just so much to do. I mean, I'm sure you all saw the video of me putting the lanyard on, and
Yes.
we all are looking forward to that moment of, yes, we're finally here.
Now, did
Well,
you kind of pre-planned and film some of that footage this past year just so you'd have that B-roll in the can?
Well, so
Or did you get? Don't tell me you actually built like a set of like
we,
the registration.
we paid an actor, we built a set, we made our own badges. No, like last year I filmed this video where it was the concept of the video was just a shot of my hand going through the airport, the airplane, different places of like me not having it and eventually being given the pass to World, being like, yes,
I am complete.
So that final bit where I said to the guys, like, is it okay if I film you handing the pass to me? He said, that's fine. So we took that.
Okay.
So it was about a week ago, this trend of the guy, people kind of like going through like a video of like, you get to the pub and your first sip of your drink, you're like, yeah. And then like transition to that video of the guy in the club, or your first poop of the day, like, yeah, transitions to the guy. It kind of like it's always that like that euphoria moment that you kind of go through. So it's like we have to do this. So we used.
Or you've been given a World Peace Prize by a sporting organization.
Exactly. Yes. So it's entirely who I based it off. So yeah, we had the footage from last year. I said to Sarah, we have to follow this trend. So we used that. Obviously, I have the pass from last year, and we just filmed it in the hallway over here for that like generic blank background. And it worked.
Okay.
So my wife's got like this list of things that we got to do. One of them is, the caption is, I go wherever the wind blows me. So basically, I've got to roll on the floor out of my door, through the airport, and then into the convention center, and then through to general session. So that's one of the video plans that we have. So it's just fun, ridiculous stuff for the shorter form stuff, and then we've got a schedule of things that we've got to, people we're going to interview and people we want to chat to. It's fun. It keeps us busy.
No, right on now.
In between sessions,
and you still have spare time.
Hopefully for lunch, if it's not too busy.
Well, I'll do something different. I'll have to get the trucks a little bit more organised than last year.
Yeah, hopefully more than 4 food trucks.
Yeah. That was an interesting experiment in logistics.
Yeah. I was part of the complaints committee. I think I'll put it that way.
If they only knew that 4,000 people were going to turn up at lunch all at the one time.
Yeah.
I only had lunch on the first day. That was it. After that, I was like, I'm not going to fight with the queues. I'm going to deal with it. I'll just power through.
Yeah, no, we didn't have lunch. I think we went to what's the name downstairs, the steak place there at once.
Oh, okay.
Easier, but we didn't bother.
Saltgrass or something?
I heard that was really good.
Saltgrass.
I heard Sean said him and his team went there every day, and it was incredible. So
I went there by myself on because I was on the Saturday. I arrived at Saturday mid-morning, and I went there for lunch on the Saturday by myself, and it was just, well, one, I was starving because I hadn't eaten decent food for the previous day, and two, a cold beer, and it was just like, God, this was heaven.
So, what day are all of you arriving?
I'm getting there. I think this year I'm getting there Saturday morning.
Yeah, we
I
say
don't, whenever I
Saturday,
fly east,
about
I
11.
always do a red eye.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
all of us are doing.
I normally
I'll let you
So
go.
I normally get in on a Friday, but I pushed it back to the Saturday this year myself. So I'm in about the same time, about mid morning.
Yeah, we midday
on the
Saturday. I think most of the UK crew. I know, as you most know, is Luke's not joining, but Karen will be. So I think it's myself, Karen, Jade, and Jonny that are flying in. Landing Saturday midday.
STB, SolidWorks Team Britain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
We'll bring the same flight. I'll probably be on the same group as the Solid Solutions people. And then
Right out.
I always have a good laugh at them, being like, they always question me. It's like, how do you get the executives hotel? I was like, SolidWorks books it.
I know people.
I know
Or
some people.
better yet, people know me.
That's the difference. You have to work for these people and associate with them. We know them. We are owned by them.
Yes,
There's
like
a big difference.
it's usually
They like us.
it's usually the top people from Solid Solutions that stay in the same hotel as we do, but all of them end up at some place down the road.
Yeah.
So I had a good laugh this year, being like, I'm staying with your bosses. They're like, I'm kind of confused because they're like, usually the only way that a Solid Solutions employee gets taken to World is if they've just passed their main exam for being a reseller, or if they've been voted for a sales
An award.
That's the only way they get their free pass to World.
True. Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I'll be at World. It's like, how?
Yeah.
Reasons.
Yeah, Australian resellers are the same. They normally stay a couple of K away. They some booked out some hotel and they got Ubers there. I say, where are you staying? Across the road. You wouldn't never Uber at World. I mean, that's ridiculous. You just walk straight across the road. How'd you book that? I don't. I just turn up and then my room's there.
I just elevator down to the second floor and
Yeah.
stroll across the sky bridge.
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone?
Hopefully it's warm enough for the
I
Texas-shaped pool.
Because a couple of years ago, it was kind of funny. I think it was around World time. My oldest son and his wife were overseas, and they were about to come back, going through Heathrow, and they got on the plane, and there was a couple people with SolidWorks shirts on. And he's like, oh, SolidWorks, so and so. And they're like, that's Todd Blackshear's kid. Because they were all heading over to World. And it was like, oh, I don't think he had any idea.
He just didn't realize how geek famous his father was.
I think Sarah and I were flying to Venice, and Luke happened to be flying from the exact same terminal at the exact same time to Shanghai. So I messaged him. I said, let's meet up. And we met up, had a good long conversation, and we're about to leave. And I grabbed a bag. He grabbed a bag.
Oh, no.
And we kind of took a couple of steps away, and we kind of stopped. And we're like, I realized this bag was weighted a bit differently. And Luke noticed that as well. We kind of turned around into each other. We're like, I think we have the wrong bags. And we both happened to
Freaky
be traveling with the
Friday.
exact same SolidWorks backpack. We had to stop and we're like, all right, let's double check whose bag's whose and make sure we're not taking. That would have been interesting. get to the
Switched in birth.
get to the gate and pull out the passports, being like, "That's not me."
Yeah, that would have been panic inducing for sure. My goodness.
But you know what? I'm approaching almost 4 hours for this hallway hangout.
Yep.
Right on.
You guys still have a Friday evening to head to. Mike, you've got a Saturday
morning
to attend to.
I'm
Saturday
going to have some
morning.
lunch. It's Saturday lunchtime. I should wander out, exercise,
almost lunch.
walk around the house to exercise myself. It's almost lunch. So, as always, it's wonderful hanging out with you guys.
It's been fantastic.
Like
I've had an amazing
world.
conversation with you all.
No, this has been very enjoyable. I wish I could have joined earlier. I was taking Kathy to the airport. She's flying to Manhattan for Christmas week and to spend it with her folks and the girls. And then the three of them are coming back here for, the girls will be here 2 weeks before they return to Albany and Geneva, respectively.
Excellent. And Todd, thank you very much for hanging out. I saw you. Those were sliders that you were demolishing earlier. By the looks of it, made me so jealous. I was like, that looked amazing.
It's funny because, Jade sent me a text and she's like, your dinner's done. And I'm like, I'm not done yet. So I took a break and I ran upstairs and grabbed it really quick. She's like, it's in the oven.
It's all good. Like, this is not a formal meeting. You can eat your food, get your scram. It's all good. But thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been
Thank you
fantastic.
It's my pleasure.
Missing Johnny,
Awesome
but
as always.
Looking forward. Looking forward to
Happy
seeing you guys.
100.
yes, happy 100 and hopefully some more. But thank you for joining us this evening.
I'm proud to say I was
Century.
episode 69.
Yes.
I think I was 50. So I ended up the half and full centuries. It's very good.
Yeah.
Right on.
And Todd, I look forward to
All right,
seeing
guys.
more of your Tetris pieces. I want to see that come together in the world.
I've been seeing them pop up and I'm super excited.
Yes.
Awesome
Awesome.
sauce.
I think the more people share it, the more. I actually probably will share some screenshots of mine in the WhatsApp groups.
That's a chat. Yeah, because hopefully that'll inspire more because I've had like little bursts of people signing up.
I haven't seen where Theodore has posted his.
His was in one of the WhatsApp chats.
The WhatsApp user group, user leader user group
Yep.
site.
Oh, there. It's
I don't know if he's put in the form.
right there. Literally right there.
Right on.
But it's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's where we need to be posting. I might just get a screenshot of mine and I'll post it.
I'll post my animation. I put them on like a lazy Susan and spun them around so you could see both
Ooh.
sides.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I might make another one just for fun.
Like I said, I'll let you know if I decide to buy a printer next week for my office. We'll figure it out. If not, I'll find someone with a printer. I know enough people.
Do it.
Yeah, we know enough people to get things made. But
That's
yeah,
right.
On.
I look forward to seeing your
we have
Tetris come together. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure hanging out. Good luck with the rest of your knee recovery. Hopefully
I'll be up.
I'm pretty sure you can rent a scooter if you need.
I won't need to rent any scooter. I can find my way from my room to the bar and the bar across the road. I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
He's Australian. They're
Johnny's
used to
time.
go and walk about.
I will volunteer Johnny's
And-
time as well, but if you ever need some carrying, me and Johnny will be up for it.
Look, the worst comes to worst, I stay in the bar.
No weekend at Bernie's you over there.
They can't kick you out. You've got a
That's
bad
exactly
knee.
right.
And Eric,
Nah, this is
yep.
just what I needed before World. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Right.
Just over a month. And Eric, thank you very much for jumping in as well.
Oh, like I said, I wish I could have been here sooner. But I'm glad I was able to make it for this small amount of time.
No, thank you very much. I really do appreciate the time that you've taken on your Friday evenings, Saturday, Mike.
I'm out.
Thank you.
All right, catch you guys.
Cheers.
Later.
Cheers.
Later, friends. Pull the plug, man, or else we'll still be here.
All right, you're going to have to leave yourself because I've got to wait and outro to everybody.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And I'm pulling the...
And he's gone. It's been an epic episode. Thank you, everybody that has joined us this evening. Episode 100. Yeah. Almost 4 hours of live streaming. I absolutely love doing this. I wish I could be doing it more. And that was a great set of conversations. We all had a good time. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And we'll see you all guys in the next one. Bye.